Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome to DeGodCast, the podcast for Degens by Degens. I'm JB, one of your menage a trois of hosts here, together with the homies Chapter and Slate. What's up, boys? How we doing?
What's good, man? Slate Mark II here.
Chappy Wappy, Gucci. All right, so seeing as how this is our first episode, the inaugural flight of this rocket ship, we're going to take a quick second just to introduce ourselves so you guys know who you're dealing with here, and then we'll get into the business. So, like I said, my name's JB. I'm relatively new to the whole NFT crypto thing by most people's standards. DeGods was damn near my introduction to crypto and NFTs. It was like the week that I discovered Solana. I could barely get money, moved over fast enough to mint my DeGods. But I've loved talking on shit on Twitter my whole life. I just love fucking around on the internet. I fucking love that the vibes that the DeGods community have brought since day one. So I've been there and I've been hanging out with the people and I've been meeting the fucking homies. And it's been a blast for the 4 months, whatever it's been since mint. And now I'm in this weird situation where I have like 2,500 followers on Twitter and like people kind of recognize me and shit, even though I've never tweeted a single meaningful fucking thing in the years that I've had my account. So it's been real, it's been fun, and now we're fucking hosting a podcast, and I'm excited to, you know, talk shit with you guys, get to know you guys, get to know some of the DeGods community, and see how we can blow this thing the fuck up. But yeah, pumped to be here. Don't deserve to be here, but I'm going to do the best damn work I can to make this thing pop off. And that's me. Chapter, if you want to intro yourself real quick.
So I go by the name of Blackula. No, I mean Chapter, bruh. Stay woke. Been doing my DD on DeGods for like 6 months. You know, drop some of my delicious alpha on a Twitter space. Now we on a show. Do your own research, though. Clown Squad. No nostrils, gang shit. All right.
Hell yeah. Slay it.
So, yeah, you should have let me go before him because obviously he's going to close it out. But, I'm Slate Mark II. Kind of the same situation as JB here. Like, DeGods was one of my first NFTs that I got into. And I think it was like a week after mint or maybe 2 weeks. It was early November. So, like, that early hype had died down. And I was there for the doldrum days for a while. But now we hype again. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, worth the wait. Well worth the wait. We do have we have a special guest today, Frankie, the boy, the man, the myth, the legend. But we are going to start with what's going to be probably the only segment that we do every week on this show, and that's just going to be a quick recap on what's happened during the week that we think is noteworthy. And if y'all have been on DeGod Spaces, you've heard Chapter go the fuck off and do these things, so this will be nothing new to you guys. But yeah. Chapter, you want to fucking take it away, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this bitch.
All right. First of all, I want to say shout out to the DAO. You know what I mean? You know, I don't have to be on my phone. You know, everybody making all those battery jokes and shit. You know, we're here now. We've elevated ourselves. You know, let's see. So for the recap, though, let's say okay. So first off. You know, I want to shout out to all the guys out there doing these dope ass threads on Twitter. You know, my fucking brain is engorged. Yo, to all the DeGod homies out there taking their time to open source the fruits of their research. You making the world a better place. So salute to y'all. But let's see. As for the recap, let's see. Earlier this week, Big Frank, he launched the Frank is Typing blog explaining the significance of the 33.3% and why its death is not synonymous with dishonor for the motherfucking culture. So shout out to the literate. We were typing before we were talking. Let's see. Our favorite battery killer, the DeGod sales bot, the content machine that got us either screaming the name of our personal savior or rushing to type free in all caps wherever we see the news. So let's talk sales. February 23rd, rank 7 sold for 950 SOL. Right? So for context, that's probably about the same price as like a brand new Tesla Model S. Shit's fucking insane. But bro,
it's like $90,000.
Bruh. So the biggest fucking sale though, right, of the fucking month, right, that I seen, rank 204 sold for 9.5 SOL. And we got the story. Bruh, so check this out. This man literally just happened to sign onto the marketplace after a few months of holding his one DeGod seen 204 at the floor and John Wick that shit in less than 60 seconds of it being listed, then tore his shirt off, pulled up in the fucking Dow and flexed in all types of unheard levels. Homie hit the feed with the caps and then dropped his own music in the fucking chat. My girl was screaming. Bro, that shit was fucking wild. Yo, but since that time, it has switched hands, so I won't be calling out fam specifically, but definitely an incredible moment for us mindfully scrolling our feeds. Yo, shit, bro, it's like the fucking first, for the first one, it was like the luckiest recorded snipe of 2022, right? And then for the other one, bro, the sea opened up and motherfucking Perseus, with the audacity and the unmitigated gall, pulled up to bring that Medusa head home at like 6 a.m, bro. Shit was early. I was at work. Bruh, yo, salute to the sales bot, bro, for showing us the shit that we never seen before and also capturing the dexterity and acumen of the folks doing their own research on the project. Let's see. What are we talking about? Medusa. Yo, speaking of Medusa, bruh. Bro, this shit was so fucking G, bro. Bro, shout out to the man with the plan going ham on the land off-chain. One of the most esteemed collectors in the Solana streets, triple OG JPEG gangster Urcon, Dr. Dusa himself, Mr. 1 of 9,465, dropping a goddamn monumental flex by placing one of the rarest DeGods created on a premier fucking economy size 24 by 24 sandbox land NFT on the Ethereum blockchain. Bro, I don't got the exact coordinates, but I'll tell you, you can look at the map, bro. You really can't miss it, bro. We'll retweet the link, bro. Yo,
$10 million.
Yeah, bro. I was gonna say, bro, I don't even fucking know how much that cost, bro. My mind can't, bro. I'm not good at math, bro. So
he turned down Nike for $10 million. He said,
fucking insane. That's bro.
What,
Bruh, so, you know, it's worth noting, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's the cost, but, yo, it's worth noting. It's worth visiting, worth appreciating. Salute to the OG Urcon. Yo, be sure to read the description when you find it. Yo, speaking of the description, bro, it leads us to our brother Manoj, the myth, the legend, the prodigal son, the meme, the king. Yo, Manoj returned to the DAO this weekend, the first and honestly probably the last man with no DeGod in his possession to receive an honorary role to come through. Yo, man pulled up in the God chat and it was all love. Some people were in the chat crying. Frank was sending butterfly emojis all in the chat. Shit was wild, bro. It was a beautiful thing, though. Yo, so, you know, what are you going to do? Yo, shout out to the homie Manoj. I'm glad you safe. Take care of yourself, fam. Yo, salute. Let's see. Yo, the most epic sleepover nobody ever heard about, you know, brought forth the auctions, right? The auctions for Dust. Yo, with Dust auctions officially launched. Yo, the first order of business is one with utility, the shadowy supercoder to the highest bidder. Current bid price, I don't even know. You guys know? Yo, last time I seen, bro,
4,500.
Like, Jesus Christ, bro. Okay, yeah. Well, last time I looked, it was like 3,000, bro. So, well, shit.
Hours to go too.
Yeah, right. Holy fuck. All right. So, yo, speaking of Dust, you know, the order books for Dust have officially been announced for peer-to-peer trading of Dust for Soul in the name of safety. So you Anons aren't jeopardizing or compromising yourselves behind closed doors or in any other shady official or unofficial avenues. Order books have been announced on Radium and the token marketplace over at Famous Fox Federation. Shout out to the 3Fs, the plot's thickening, Dead God's coming, not to mention the motherfucking Burns coming. And then, disclaimer, the DeGods team and official partners provide utility for Dust and do not officially or unofficially designate or specify any monetary value to Dust. One Dust is equal to one Dust. None of this is financial advice. Entertainment only. Gang.
Gang. Hell yeah. I got fucking gorgeous, dude. Jesus. Hell yeah. I got two fucking things I'm going to add on to that. Because we had both of the Solana founders rocking DeGod's PFPs at the same damn time.
Oh shit, I'm gonna lose my job.
At the same damn time.
Unreal. Read the game notes chapter. They were in there. And then we had, and this is for the boys, this is for the Mickeys, that fucking boy, Prince Akeem, with the double Mickey visor, Mickey polo, real life DeGod shit, hopping in the PJ and fucking taking a trip around the country to go visit all the Mickey's locations. Those boys do that shit wild on Twitter. I love it.
Bro, I didn't even see that. I did not see that. That's insane.
Yeah, I'll send it to you, bro. I'm deep in the Mickey rabbit hole. It's the best.
I'm fucking glad that you guys are here, bro. Because I'm just saying the shit that I seen, bro. Hey, salute, bro. I'm glad y'all here, bro.
We got you, man. Teamwork, make the dream work. All right, so that's our weekly recap that has been much requested. Some would say is the genesis of this podcast as a whole.
Yeah, so you guys can shut this shit off now.
No, all right, chapter later, bro. We'll see you next week.
All right, I'm ready. I'm out.
That being said, we do have a guest today to interview, if you can call it that. Very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, the social experimenter himself, the porn stash fucking king, the daddy, if you will, the one that we owe all of our sweet lives on crypto Twitter and in NFTs and all this fucking bags we're making off of these DeGods that we own now too. Dat boy Frank, how you doing?
Hey man, that was the nicest intro of all fucking time. Super hyped to be here.
Thanks. I just pulled that shit off the dome.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. So, Frankie, like we said, we had a structure for this interview. We were going to go over the whole history of DeGods, and we were going to try and, make it like a
boring,
snoozer.
Hey, but yeah, there's like fucking 12 podcasts out there or 12 interviews, like Frank's done on his, worldwide.
Yeah, guys,
campaign.
we were supposed to have a marketplace. We didn't. And now we're here.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we're here. We're caught up.
PHBT didn't fucking work,
Yeah.
10,000 PFPs, 3 soul mint.
Yo, speaking of PHBT, I just saw today someone posted the stats for like the DAOs with the most money, and we have the most money out of any DAO apparently, and that's just like in the month since we got rid of PHBT.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. And I liked how they did it because it wasn't just on the soul value, it was also on the NFT value. And you guys know the D-Alpha squad is going nuts. A lot of the NFTs we bought have like done pretty well in terms of when we bought them. So it's pretty sick. I think somebody calculated for us, it was like 150 or 200 soul gain on like a 500 soul basically worth of acquisitions. And we still have like 3,700 in liquid soul in there right now. It's just hacking up.
Who the fuck is making those calls, man?
Dude, you guys got to get on that channel. It's called D-Alpha. I'm actually actively recruiting. So we got Solstice in there. He's not as active as he was when he first started, but I'm going to talk to him because we want to get like some of the best crypto alpha, especially NFT alpha people in that chat. But we've had some pretty crazy calls so far. I think someone posted one today that was like a 0.2 mint. It's at 4 soul and pretty liquid volume as well.
Dude,
yeah,
I got to start getting on Discord, bro.
I'm in the wrong
I just discovered it yesterday, and like once they post something on there, you better have the Twitter fingers to buy it right away because it's going up 2 or 3 soul right away.
Solstice is a big ad, man. That's a huge recruit for fucking D-Alpha.
Yeah, dude. And he used to fund us the most, and now he's like a homie with DeGods, which is fucking sick. It's kind of tough because... Yeah, go for it.
No. Finish that.
Oh, no, I was going to say, it's kind of tough because you don't necessarily want to make your entire community flippers, but at the same time, like, that's a great way to have a community of people that are doing research, in a decentralized way to make more soul, make more money. So it's part of the thing where you got to balance the culture. But yeah, dude, I'm super pro people trading and flipping NFTs and getting alpha.
And honestly, bro, like you got to build liquidity one way. Like I'm still playing with the same soul I deposited in fucking October or September of last year. Like the same 10 soul bag has
huge.
Put me where I'm at. Chess, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah. You got to do it. You know what I mean? So that's I mean, is it bad if we have like the ballinest, biggest bagging holding fucking D-DAO because we have the best alpha? Not at all. I don't think so. I'm about that. But speaking of the FUD, I fucking love how now that we're popping off, every single influencer on Twitter has 33.3% in their name. Like everybody is like,
and they all call DeGods at 4 soul, or like everybody called DeGods at 4 soul. Every single person,
dude. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Funny story. First of all, I don't like call shit because I'm wrong 90% of the time. So like I call shit on my Twitter, but I like when it hits, I don't fucking retweet it and be like, oh, I called this shit. Because there's 100 other tweets for every one of those that was fucking wrong. So I feel like I don't deserve to do that. But I did scoop 2 DeGods off the Wiz. I don't know if he's like still active in chat or not, but he's Kooks boy. Like he's been around for a while. 2 DeGods P2P for 4 soul. Like back in the day, he needed liquidity for, I don't know, a mint or like IRL stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll grab basically all of his DeGods for 4 Sol at the time. And now every time I see a tweet about the floor price, I fucking tag it. And I'm like, how do you feel, you fucking
I tweeted about this, but I sold one of my DeGods for 4.5 Sol when we were down,
Tough.
Definitely
I
regretting
don't
that
blame
one
you.
right now.
Tough.
By the way, let me just say this, guys. Like, I'm here in person with AK. Got to meet up with him. We're working on this sprint together, and he was just kind of showing me what the Discord looked like when I was less active in it, and during like December, November. And I was thinking about it. And I was like, "Fuck, man. Honestly, if you sold around those times, like, I don't blame you. Like, I don't think you did a good job because you pretty much might have sold it for a loss if you bought in the secondary. But, dude, it was pretty dark. And it definitely has been a comeback. So, yeah, dude, I don't blame you, Slate. It was pretty nasty. Not gonna lie.
The only time we'd hear from you would be like 2, 3 in the morning, and you'd be like, I just smoked a blunt. Let's talk. And we'd be like, we need to get Frank high all the fucking time. It's the only time.
I remember those memes. Yeah.
About time he starts
dude, it was
working.
just so fucking stressful, man. It's like not an excuse looking back on it, but it was like, fuck, man, the game plan that we tried out, like PHPT wasn't working. Everything we tried wasn't working. And it just felt like, fuck. Every time I go in the Discord, which I understand. So I'll break it down for people that are minting new projects that are like looking for stuff like this. The thing is like if you have a founder that doesn't come in the Discord that often and the project's not mooning, then like every time they come in the Discord, everyone's just bottled up and they're like, we don't know when we're going to see this guy again. So we're just going to unleash like all of our criticism, all of our thoughts, all of our stuff right at the moment that person comes in.
Yeah,
so I was just stuck in this loop of like, yo, everyone was basically piling on me as soon as I came in. And it was like, making me feel like I want to come in less. That's why I stuck to mostly Twitter. But looking back on it, that wasn't acceptable. And what it ultimately took was just dedicating a lot of time to being active again so that you're not stuck in that loop where every time you come in, it's only complaints. But I see that with a lot of new projects where, the founders just get overwhelmed by the community and they just didn't know what they were signing up for at the end of the day. But that's the name of the game. You got to be ready for that shit. Yeah.
Dude, with you, it was like a complete 180. Like you're definitely reinvigorated to like take the project to new heights. And I know you had that like that pep talk, we'll call it, from AK and Nemesis and all of them. But is there any other reasons that like, you're on sicko mode right now?
Before you go, Frank, go, Frank. So I'm not really a Discord guy. Like I'm more of a fucking Twitter guy. It's just easier for me to keep up with and do my thing and shit. But I will say like, a lot of people ask me, in the last months or whatever, would bring up DeGods because I've always had the PFP and they'd be like, yo, what the fuck is the deal? When is this shit going to drop? And I would always just be like, honestly, dude, I don't fucking know because I don't pay attention. But I heard you on, I want to say it was like a Big Brain space or maybe it was a DeGod space way back in the day. And literally it was like one of the first spaces and you were just talking about the whole like game theory, the fucking funnel thing or whatever it was. And I heard that one thing and I was like, yo, this dude like may not be doing anything right now. And I don't fucking know if he is or not, but this guy is not going to stop until DeGods is a fucking thing. So, I mean, I minted 1, you guys burned it for my tattoo.
Let's go.
And I got fucking 3 out of it, out of the oath. So I held 3.
Yo, I didn't know you were the tattoo dude, JB.
How did you not know that, bro?
Like the OGs, bro.
Bro. But when the oath, bro, for me, bro, when the oath was going on, I was like kind of in and out. I was like, oh, the oath, and I'm like reading all this fucking shit on Twitter. I'm like, and I fucking bounced out.
Here's the thing about D-Oath. The D-Oath was kind of fucking cringe because I saw a lot of people take it, and I saw like a lot of people maybe followed through, but a lot of people just like, you never fucking saw it again. And it was like
JB was on their ass too when that happened. He was tweeting like, "Did you go to the Parthenon yet? Did you set up the flag?
So
you're gonna do?"
I remember that shit, bro.
Dude, me and that guy have DM'd a couple times because he had me blocked at one point because literally every time he would post, I would comment on it on Twitter when Parthenon because his D-Oath was if you burn my shit, I'll go to the fucking Parthenon. And he had DM'd me about it when it was like D-Oath season. He was like, yo, I think I'm gonna do D-Oath. Like I'm a couple hours from Greece. Like I'll go. I have a fucking shitty little project called the Solana Lottery. He was like, bro, I'm going to hang a flag. It'll be DeGods. I'll put a little like Solana Lottery logo on there, all this shit. So when his shit got burned, every time he tweeted, I was like, all right, let's fucking see it, bro. Let's fucking see it. And I guess he got sick of it because he blocked me. And like I found out he blocked me at one point and we kind of DM'd about it. And I was like, yo, honestly, dude, like I wasn't trying to like be a dick or anything. Like you're still like, he's a good guy. We've talked and shit, but like,
It's just for the memes,
you
bro.
fucking
But like when
it's
parts
for the memes, but also you fucking
Yeah.
promised you were gonna do something.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking do that shit. And so that was a little bit of a tangent, but I
No,
got
I'm down to talk about the oath, but I'll answer the first question real quick,
Yes,
which
get
is
back
like
to
what
that.
made us like kind of go 180 sicko mode. Dude, I'll be 100% honest. It was just straight burnout, bro. Like, and I don't like admitting it because I'm a tough guy or whatever. I'm like, I can power through a lot of shit, but it was just, dude, after the mint, after PHBT, like the marketplace getting fucked, all the refunds, just everyone being really upset, all the clown emojis. It was just like feeling like we were fighting an uphill battle, and I just throughout the year of 2021, I was just getting more and more burnt out, and then it was like December, that pep talk you guys are referring to. So for people that don't know, this is basically what happened. I was just not as active on the Discord. I was still pretty regularly shitposting on Twitter, but like no excuses are being made. Like DeGods was not moving in the way that people wanted DeGods to be moving. DeGods wasn't moving in the way I wanted it to be moving. And I just felt a little bit lost. And Nemesis, AK, and G2K like basically forced me through multiple channels. Like they messaged Taylor, they messaged Finn. They were like, we need Frank to get on this call. And during that call, I was doing the same stuff where I was saying, hey guys, I'm kind of like burnt. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And they were just not, especially Nemesis was just not giving me an inch. Like Nemesis was just saying, dude, like you're fucking up right now. Like this is not acceptable answer. We need like accountability, et cetera, et cetera. Bring us on, like compensate us, like do all this stuff. And just kind of gave me the playbook to help bring the community back. And I think there's a lot of bad things that could happen to DeGods if they weren't as stern with me on that call as they were. Because the thing about Twitter, especially when you're mostly on Twitter, you kind of only see the good stuff and there's not that much bad stuff. Especially being someone like Frank and the DeGods community is very nice and positive, and they like, they're kind to me, which is super nice, and I'm very appreciative of that. But it also doesn't let you see the real shit that's kind of happening and how people actually feel. So from my perception, things weren't as bad with DeGods, even when things were objectively bad, because I was kind of like only looking at the flowery, colorful stuff. So when they really pulled that curtain back and they were like, you're losing amazing members of the community every day, things are going badly, it was just a fucking wake-up call. Like, dude, there's something special here, and we need to do something with it, and we need to make it great because it deserves that. And that's ultimately kind of what got us to turn 180. And that's when we were trying to ideate what would be a big thing to do in 2022. And, that's kind of where the idea for Dust started to stem from, is we just got to do something that's not like small, like DXYZ or D Palace, where it's kind of like a tool for the internal community, but what's going to create some real fucking hardcore game theory and make people make difficult decisions, because that's what's engaging. That's what people are going to actually care about. There's going to be some big plays, big arbitrages, big moves being made. And that's the only thing that matters in this space when it's moving so fast. And so I think like that's what made us turn 180, is when we got aligned around an idea that felt actually fucking exciting, not something that 5-10 people were just saying was exciting, but most people didn't think was exciting, which was what 90% of our ideas before that were.
Yeah. No, Nemesis is a savage, dude. So I
Nemesis is a savage
for sure. And honestly,
AK2 was a big time fudder, and that's why I fuck with him so heavy. When we were like bringing him on, I was like, yo, this guy is not only a massive bag holder, he bought all his DeGods at the top, so he's incentivized, but also every time he was just so on top of the Discord, so ready to like give feedback, but also be a savage, that I was like, bro, if we can get this guy aligned with us and bring him on the team, I mean, we could do a lot of amazing things. And I feel like he is just one of the most crucial pieces of our team.
It
like
sounds
today.
like I should have been active in the Discord, because I probably would have been on there and either sold or been like, God, this Frank guy's a fucking pussy, dude. He hasn't done anything in months. And then you've been like, yo, you want to be a mod? I'll pay you.
Yeah, I mean, basically.
Dude,
Go for
AK basically had to save the project, dude, because he would have been financially ruined otherwise. He
saved his own bag.
He fucking Thanos did. He was like, I'll do it myself. Fuck it.
Smart, dude.
Straight up. Kid is a beast, man. Kid is a beast. He derugged it, dude. Derugged.
I heard that on whatever podcast that was, and I was like, that is fucking wild as shit. That you would even admit that, but then that like happened behind the scenes. But speaking of AK and the fucking all the new members of the team and shit, who all was in LA when you flew them over? Was it just chill, or is AK like permanently in LA, or what? Give me the breakdown of the team and
I'll give you the breakdown of the sleepover that's happening right now. So we're all still in arbitrage. We basically got an Airbnb And it's just like, dude, it's way easier to work on, like when we're talking about so much of detail of all the work that we're doing, whether it comes to auctions or DeGod's or whatever we're doing, it gets like really difficult to do that remotely. So we basically flew out AK from Singapore and then Chill from France. And then we have Mateo, who's also in like Southern California,
Nice.
and that's Scum. And then we have Sir Candy Apple, who was on the Particles team, who I saw his 101, and I was like, holy fuck, this is next level. And we talked to him. He sent us like a few samples of what he would do with DeGod's. I don't think we've released anything that he's made, but his shit is also fire. And we have Delilah just training everyone on the team over like the course of the first few days that we were here. And now we're all ripping attributes left and right.
Jeez.
And so we've all basically been in arbitrage for like since almost a week and a half now. And I think tomorrow is our last day together because everybody has to go back. But we've gotten a pretty good working cadence. It's nice to get aligned with AK on the front lines, like just in person, walking through whiteboarding and all this stuff. So that's kind of the makeup of everyone that's out here right now.
Bro, I have fucking seen. I've almost bid on Candy Apple's shit. I just pulled up his Twitter because I noticed like he came out of nowhere.
He's the Hodl guy, isn't he? The Hodl guy.
Yeah,
that's the Hodl guy, bro. That fucking shit is sick. It's the animated thing, bro. That's bro.
Yeah,
that's art as fuck.
And it's like, obviously that's not in the style of DeGod's in any way, but it just showed that it wasn't even about the art on that one. It just showed that the guy had fucking taste because it was just tastefully done, you know, like the way the rain was falling in the background, the whiskey bottle was like moving a little bit.
That was
it's kind of rare to see someone with that artistic
Someone
taste.
link me that.
I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah.
It's and then Mateo's shit is fire, dude. The fact that you I don't know if you like could say you scalped him from DAA, but the fact that he's in the squad is
straight
unreal.
Straight scalp. We can say it, bro. He's in the other room right now. We straight scalp that guy. I'm pushing him to do more DeGod stuff after this. But yeah, dude, Delilah is just like one of a kind, to be honest, because it's pretty rare that you meet somebody that's as logical and like can talk about all the crypto stuff and understand it, but also is just raw with the art and innovative and unique. And so we really have a gem in Delilah.
Like a left brain, right brain type shit.
Exactly. That's the thing. And so I was really hyped about that. And now that Delilah has multiple people that can work alongside, it's pretty helpful as well. Yeah. That was burnout material right there, working on all the traits. We're basically making a new collection here, you know, like redoing every single trait. And so it was going to be a burnout if we didn't have help for Delilah. So
are Delilah and Taylor actual females?
I think they're Frank's personas, you know.
Yeah. They're all Frank?
Yeah, I was going to say, because
I think they're all Frank.
Yeah, Frank, there's actually like a lot of theories out there, bro. Like that the reason why they don't talk is because you're on the DeGod's main account or you're on your account, you know, shit like that. So really, I think what the streets want to know is, are these like real people, or are you really just out here just doing this whole project by yourself?
Yeah, have you ever seen Delilah and Frank tweet at the same time?
No.
Are you guys bringing in the talk? Okay, I'm about to do something I feel like I've never...
Let's go, boy. It's DeGodCast episode 1. Let's fucking go.
All right. So this is what happened. Early days with DeGod's, we live near this place called Delilah's, and it's like a restaurant in Los Angeles. So yeah, we were just trying to think of some code names, and yes, so Delilah and Taylor are both guys.
Hell yeah!
And I know it sounds new.
Oh my god! Wow.
And actually, I feel really relieved to say this right now because I think both of them are incredibly smart, and I can't wait for Delilah to be on a podcast with you guys. We've always just been nervous because early on, I think people really took off to the fact that they thought that they were girls, and we were just kind of in a sprint session, and so we didn't really take any time to clear it up, and it kept getting it kept becoming a bigger and bigger deal, and so we just never really like cleared the air on that. But it feels pretty good to say because I want people to hear, you know, what they have to say about DeGod's because they've both been Taylor, especially people don't realize, and AK can back it up because he's here and seeing it in person, is actually like really integral to this project, but just not in a public facing way.
Sure.
And obviously Delilah is a beast.
Facts.
So I'm actually really excited for you guys to hear Delilah talk about the art. And yeah, basically they're both
They've
guys.
Been hiding for months.
And we've been nervous to like say that because people, yes.
I'll fucking tell you right now, dude. Delilah is on Twitter now, right? And obviously everyone's like tagging her and like him, Jesus, tagging him and being like, "Yo, the DeGod's are savage," blah blah blah. And they fired off a tweet to like somebody's response, and it was something about like being a Sigma personality or whatever. And I commented on it with "Are you sure you don't mean Ligma?" and everybody was on my ass like, you wouldn't fucking dare do that to Delilah. And now everyone knows that it's just a dude that I was about to tell to lick my balls. I think they might have taken those tweets back.
Bro,
I just want to say one thing. We did not know this before the podcast started. We did not know that Delilah and Taylor were guys.
No, that was one of my questions I had written down.
Yeah, a few people
have
figured. I think a few people have figured it out, but I mean, so let me just get an official statement on this to clarify for people that are listening on this. Like, we had no intention to catfish or anything like that, and that's why they've been like less active, I guess, on the public communication channels. Delilah more so. It was just one of those things where it never felt like the right time to be like make a random announcement, like, "Hey guys, by the way, Delilah and Taylor are both guys," and like, you know,
yeah, I'd be like,
and
okay.
so. And yeah, so I think it's good to get that out. And now I feel like we can finally open the air. So once DeGodCast launches, let's get Delilah on a fucking podcast with you guys. Because, dude, the way that Delilah thinks about this shit and the art, like I was saying, the logic and the artistry, it's just like I've never heard anybody talk about art in this way. It's so detailed, so thought-provoking. And yeah, I think I'm excited for that. So yeah,
we don't want detailed and thought-provoking on this podcast.
Oh, never mind.
I'm just playing.
Fuck
We got to have somebody big brain on here because I mean, speaking for myself, it ain't me.
Yo, but I feel like this makes so much sense why we didn't get those fucking feet pics from fucking Taylor when everybody's like, "Oh, feet pics, feet pics." I don't know what the fuck, bro. I'm not like,
dude. That was the moment. That was the moment.
Hairy
like,
as fuck.
We cannot. Yeah, we cannot reveal this shit at all because, like, that was the moment that came out of nowhere. Everyone was asking Taylor for feet pics.
People were hyped for toes. That shit was insane. I'm like, bro, like I'm not that guy, bro. I'm not like, like pull them toes out. You know what I mean? But
well, you gotta. Most of those people were joking. Like, fucking when feet pics anyone.
I don't know, bro. Pod. It was getting pretty, I won't say explicit, but people were pretty detailed about, what type of digits they wanted to see, but
that kind of makes my next question a little bit less uncomfortable to ask. Who is the hottest on the team? Like, who's the fucking man rocket of the man rockets?
Delilah.
No
straight
kidding,
up.
Dude.
Oh, straight
really?
up.
Wow.
No, we joke about it internally. We joke about it internally that like Delilah is the perfect human being because he's just absolutely jacked. He's fucking beautiful.
A fucking man.
He's an incredible artist. Yeah, incredible artist. And on top of that, he's just fucking smart as shit. Like, he got into crypto last year. So now that everyone knows we're all guys, I guess we're all like, we've all been homies for a while now. And it's just sick that we had the right pairing of talent to make an NFT project. But that's also why I'm so confident we're gonna be able to build this in the long term, because there's none of that like professional bullshit when you meet somebody for the first time online and you're like, oh, how do we split this? It's like everything we do is basically just split equally. Everything we work on is like, we know who's going to work on what. Same thing when we brought on Chill onto the team. It's like, all right, you're just an equal member now. Like, we're all going to be in this thing together. Like, and that's just the mentality you get to have when you're really comfortable working with the people and you trust everyone around you. So we all are neighbors. Basically, we met before we were neighbors. We decided to move in together before we knew we were going to do a big project or anything. We just all knew we wanted to work on something together. And yeah, no, Delilah is by far the most beautiful fucking human. I can't wait for him to hear this. He's the most beautiful human being on the planet. He's the most talented person. He's fucking smart as shit. It's unfair, dude. Delilah. So now that Delilah can finally talk, I think it's gonna be so bullish for you guys. Yeah, dude. People need to hear. Fuck Frank. People need to hear Delilah. Like straight up,
dude.
Like,
we need to dox Delilah, bro. We need to dox Delilah.
Maybe not dox, but you guys got to hear it for sure.
I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping it would be Finn, and I don't know if it's just because the PFP is so fucking spicy on Finn, but I just assumed it would be Finn. But now it makes sense that Delilah probably has the rarest PFP with the Medusa being the fucking man dime of the group.
Yeah, it's funny because that one's not even in the collection, but Delilah gets licensed because, Look, Delilah has, by the way, I think, the most mythics out of anybody in the on the core team. Maybe it's like AK, because AK is just a savage. He's been sniping since like from the top to the bottom so he's gotten a lot, but Delilah buys art. Like he I guess I can say that. He's been buying he's been buying some stuff that he just likes at whatever price, basically. So yeah, Delilah's kind of a savage.
Did you all minted pre-sale, right? Did you guys mint like a pool, and did you pick, or did you like each mint your own and then you were like, fuck you, Delilah? Like, how did you get so many mythics?
No, we minted a pool during the second pre-sale. The thing that sucks is like we basically have given out all of those for DeGod Week bounties. And just bounties and for refunds or whatever. So I think we all have bought every bag that all of the whole core team has, which we keep in like a kind of secret wallet for everyone, is like we've all bought them off secondary since day one. So we bought tops, we bought bottoms, like same thing. I think the most recent one, we've all bought at least like 3 or 4 in the last week, kind of like insider trading because we know shit's about to pop, but we all bought. I don't think anybody on the team is sold. Maybe AK sold
bleep that
a few,
out.
but
Bleep that out.
yeah. AK sold a few, I think, but he deserves it. He's been grinding, and but I think nobody else on the team has sold any, but we've been buying. I think my bag on DeGod's, I guess, dude, you guys are getting all the craziest info. Delilah and Taylor guys. So I think I hold like 25 to 30 DeGod's on a bunch of different wallets, but I think that number is way too small. Like
way too small, dude.
But it always comes out of it always comes out of the team's bags when we do giveaways and stuff like that. Because I don't want it to be like somebody gets a fresh DeGod that we just buy off the market or whatever. So we always do giveaways from our own bags, but I hate giving them away for sure.
Yeah,
I'm done with that shit. Yeah, fuck
bro.
that.
I gave away a DeGod in a fucking Solana lottery game that I made like 1.5 soul off of the entire fucking game. Come on,
you rug.
Yeah,
you
super rug.
God damn, bro. I was trying not to rug my own project, and I was giving away rugs in return. Fucking A,
bro. Yeah.
So you said that you guys have like all been homies for a while, and you knew that you like wanted to create a project together. But what like made you want to create specifically like an NFT project and shit? And you can just say the money if you want, because that's probably everyone's first.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've said it in multiple podcasts. When it came to it at first, it was definitely the money.
Listening, man.
Oh yeah. When it came to it at first, so people ask to repeat the question: what got us into making an NFT project? Why did we decide to do it? At first, honest answer, we just did the math and we were like, holy fuck, like we could make a lot of money by building an NFT project. And we are all good guys. We're all homies. And I think I mentioned this on another podcast too, where I was just saying to all of us, we're all pretty fulfilled in life before doing, DeGods. And so the goal was never to rug or do something just for the money itself, but it makes it exciting for a group of like pretty talented, ambitious guys to work on something when you have like a really big pot of gold, I guess, at the end of the tunnel. So I think that's what got everyone to work as hard on DeGods as possible, especially like when we were first getting started and thinking of the idea. That's definitely what got us started. What got us like really pumped about it to actually get to mint. Because I'm sure we all have buddies. Everyone has gotten like, oh, dude, we should do an NFT project. It's like the most common thing in 2021 to say with a group of 20-something guys. So everyone has the idea. But what got us to the actual mint phase, to the pre-sale phase, was just seeing that the idea was catching fire. The community was fucking unreal. And we were like, holy fuck, this is actually something real. We should drop everything else we're doing and just focus on this. And that's pretty much been what kept us going and actually to get to mint. Because most projects just don't. Everyone sees the rugs, but what people don't see is if you just go on How Rare Is, and there's like 30 projects minting today, and 99% of those don't even like sell out or don't even get close to selling out. So just to even get to mint was the goal was honestly, we want to build something massive, and the money just helps us not do anything else. Because we all I always had a pretty high paying job at a startup for growth engineering, and other guys on the team were working in the startup space, working in the entertainment industry. And everyone was making like a pretty decent bag before. So it wasn't like, oh, dude, we need this to feed our fucking families. It was just more like, yo, what could be cooler than making something like this? And part of what makes it cool is definitely making a lot of money. But now we're like, okay, the money thing is cool, but how do we make this thing the biggest thing in the world?
Now you got to be the best.
Now we want to be the best because that's what a group of fucking Sigma guys want to do together is like, yo,
Ligma
fuck
guys.
all this. We're playing Magic Internet money. Let's be the best in the game. Like, why not? That's where we're at right now.
I got a spicy one. What happened to all the mint money?
So all the mint money, for the most part, is just still sitting in Solana. I think we spent about 9,000 souls so far. 4,000 of that was a mix of refunds and the self-bitch tax and just different administrative stuff before we were taking it out of the royalties in the DAO wallet for paying employees and like mods. And dude, most of it is sitting on Solana. I think the team has just cashed out like each of us have done a different amount, but I think it's like nothing crazy because we're all mad bullish on Solana, like under 100K per team member. So it's not, and everything's just still sitting in Solana.
Now you're locked
Yeah.
in until Sol hits fucking 200.
No, literally,
again.
we're all fucked. Yeah. No, I wish we were just rugging and we sold it all at the top. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I wish that was the case.
Bro, I wish that for you too. That
But
was
now we're
dope.
like bag holders to the maximum, 100%. Yeah, just
so not even one like good purchase. Like nobody has a fucking dope ass thing they got with mint money that you can tell us about.
I took my brother to a courtside Lakers game at the season opener.
That's
that
dope.
was like probably the biggest
Okay.
one. And those were because I always promised them, hey, little bro, like, if I ever do something big, if I ever make a bag and like that, I promise you, like, we'll go because we've been Laker fans since day one. I promise you, I will take you. And we did that, and it was fucking sick. LeBron was like 5 feet away from us.
Wow.
It was we lost the game, to the Warriors, which sucked. But that was probably like the biggest purchase because that was like 10 grand a seat. Outside of that, dude, no, we still live in the same apartment. I know it's a cliche to say or whatever, but like seriously, it doesn't even appeal to any of us to have like a crazy lifestyle or anything like that.
Word.
It's just nice to know if we ever do need money, it'll be there. But nothing crazy yet, dude. Wait till we get to the number one project and things are really humming. And I spoke about this in another podcast too. To me, I've built a business before that was like pretty successful.
Humble
and
brag.
I'd say like I mean, it's okay. It's not nothing crazy. But the biggest lesson that I learned from that one and why I ultimately burned out and it ended up just not going in the end of it like really well was just I never exercised what they call the vacation rule. And the vacation rule, it's not about you wanting or needing to take a vacation. It's just like, does the business work when you're not there? And if you were to take 2 weeks off, does the business continue to work? Does the project continue to work? And until we get to that place where it will continue to grow exponentially, even if one of the core team members isn't there working on it like 24/7, we just have not made it yet. And I think we're pretty far off from that. But it'll be, that at that point, I think we'll do something crazy. But all of us are pretty young, and we think Solana is going to go to over $1,000 at some point. Probably not soon, but at some point. So there's no real incentive to do anything and trade it into USD right now or anytime soon. And if the community or the project needs the money to do something big, if there's like a really big idea that's even bigger than what the DAO wallet has, dude, of course we're going to dip into those funds. But obviously it would be nice not to have to because that's our nest egg. But, we spent $9,000, I think, in Sol, $9,000 of Sol from the Mint Fund already on the community. And now it's self-sustaining, which goes to my thesis on like making this a self-sustaining project. But we'll see where it goes out. But you guys are asking the spicy questions. Hopefully you guys are getting the spicy answers. I don't think I've ever said any of this in public like ever before.
Oh, no,
what
this is
we're
the
here
alpha,
for.
bro. Yeah. I was going to say, you making DeGodCast, the podcast. Hey, you about to make us number one, Frank. Hey, so keep spilling the beans.
Yeah.
What'd you do in the Rams won the Super Bowl?
Dude, we were all flipping out. I'm less of a football fan than I'm a basketball fan, but I had a lot of money on the Rams money line and the spread. I lost the spread money.
I had so much money on the
sick.
Bengals spread. It was fucking sweet.
Oh, dude.
Rip.
I think I remember seeing your tweet. Yeah. Nah, dude, Joe Burrow
I
and
was
Bill
trying
like
to
that,
get
right?
anybody on Twitter to take the spread, bro, but nobody was taking it. Sprinkle the money line.
I just think Aaron Donald, bro. It was
He's a
like
beast.
I know that
He
I
should
know
got
that
MVP,
Cooper Kupp
bro.
got the MVP. Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say,
what I
but Aaron
said.
Donald with that sack, dude. Oh my god,
Bro, my dad
That
was
guy's built
like,
different.
I think he was like, how does fucking Stafford not get the MVP? Which we're Packer fans, so I was like, fuck Matt Stafford, he's
Yeah.
a pussy. But dude, Aaron Donald literally won y'all the fucking Super Bowl with those last two plays, and he did not get MVP. I'm also kind of pissed because I had some money on fucking defensive player, which was like plus 1,000, I think, for MVP. So that would have been a fat bag for me. But yeah, agreed.
Damn. Yeah, that was a tough game to bet on. Even like everything was so what's the word? Everything was just arbitrage to perfection, all the lines. So I literally missed my spread because it hit it I had -4, I think. So it was
Yeah.
just like fuck, man.
I'm gonna snitch on myself real quick. What does arbitrage mean?
Arbitrage is just like man, what is a good way to define? If you see like
Don't
let's just say
bro
you see
me.
apples be No, I'm thinking it's like if you see apples being sold at one market for $1 and you see apples at another market being sold
It's like
for
hedging,
$2.
hedging your bet.
No, it's
Fuck.
like the opportunity, bro. It's the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Economic opportunity.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
an advantage, bro. That's what it is, bro.
Yeah, so
So-
like let's just say the apples are $1 there, $2 there. You buy an apple for $1 and you go to the other market and you sell it for $2. It's kind of like when there's different prices on exchanges for Bitcoin. That's how SBF made his bag. It was literally on Bitcoin price arbitrage. He saw in Japan there was a difference in price that was pretty significant to the American dollar value for Bitcoin. And so we buy them either in Japan and then sell it in America, or buy it in America and sell it in Japan. And he would just keep the money on the spread. So it's kind of like pure profit, no risk play right there. And that's kind of what arbitrage is. I'm sure there's a better dictionary definition.
We had that going kind of between Alpha Art and Magic Eden when we switched over.
Yep.
The prices were different.
Bro, we had it.
Sniping them.
We had it going this morning between fucking Radium and Triple F, dude. Dust was like 0.011 on Triple F and 0.07. I bought a bag of Dust at 0.07. But me and the Mickey boys and fucking Jimmy are trying to like pool up some Dust and win this SSC, because I think there's a little arbitrage there. If we
you guys got to do that, by the way. I think
shit.
it's a fucking move.
Oh, we got a group chat going already. We're trying to figure out what our max bet is, because here's my thing. Like, I don't just want to fucking win it to win it. Like, I want to win it because it's a deal, because I can liquidate the SSC and I can fucking multiply my Dust bag from doing so. That's my game plan with that. So
yeah, and I think that's what. So I'll speak a little, because I think I use the word arbitrage a lot with DeGods. Again, without the risk of boring people, I'll try to keep it interesting here. It's like, the thing that's good about arbitrage in crypto markets is that it makes the market more efficient or more perfect. So if there's a lot of volume, for example, with the Bitcoin Japan price versus the USD price, somebody's going to come in and they're going to basically equalize the price, because they're going to be making a profit and they're incentivized to do so. So what the key with DeGods is always going to be is, how do we create as much volume as possible? So we created all these avenues for different arbitrage opportunities. So that way down the line, whether it's whales, whether it's plebs, if there's enough volume on every end of the spectrum, people are going to be able to take advantage of all of these different mismatches of pricing and things like that, which will ultimately make more volume for DeGods and just make the market for DeGods more perfect and more liquid. That's like the long-term idea. In the short term, it really just comes down to like supply demand. We just need to create constantly more and more demand for DeGods. And that's why I think branding is going to be the big play. We've set up a good infrastructure with Dust being a nice game thing that we can always add utility to. But after this, it's going to be like, how do we get mass market and just massive demand? That's the long and short. When I use the word arbitrage 24/7 with DeGods, I can't think of a better word that's like, what the whole Dust experiment is about.
There's definitely if you plenty of demand for Dust right now, dude. Everybody in Discord is like, what is the move here? Which obviously is the whole fucking game theory thing. Like, do I want to double my, like, I have enough Dust right now where I can pull it up. I mean, I right now I could win the SSC if it's still at 4,500. I got more than that.
Doesn't it end tomorrow?
Yeah.
The
Do I
auction?
want it? Ends at fucking 3 a.m., dude. First of
shit.
all, like, yeah, I know that you guys are up all night working, but suck my dick.
That's
dude.
tough.
So now it's like, if we do pull this up, like, the Mickey's boys are PST, but they're adults with normal jobs that work and wake up early. Jimmy's EST with me. It's like, who the fuck wants to wake up at 3 a.m. to bid on this thing?
Yeah, that's tough.
So yeah, y'all can, feel free to, take into account us normies with our regular work hours when you do.
Yeah, we got to
this
find a
shit.
good UTC time for these instead. I agree. That's a good note.
But also, it's like, do I? Again, if I can win this, I'm winning it because I'm liquidating the bitch and I'm up in my Dust bag. But then it's like, do I even bother? I got 5,000 Dust. I got 10 DeGods. I can, what is that? Double my Dust, daily accumulation or whatever. It's a lot. You guys did a good job of fucking creating, uses and shit for it. So I know we talk about this a little bit.
Can I just drop some more alpha on this, by the way? I feel like I'm keeping my lips tight on this, but I'm pretty.
Open those lips,
All
boy.
right, so we did the math.
Daddy's coming in.
Now we're all in person. We hit the whiteboard. We did the math, and we were like, all right, 2x rewards on Dust staking. That's nice for a dead god. That's good. But your break-even period is still basically like about 50 days to get 20 times 50 equals 1,000 to get the 1,000 Dust back. And now that we have the halving period built in after we kind of mapped out the whole tokenomics, it's actually okay for the short-term early Dust supply to be a little bit more inflationary, because we're going to have the halving period come in. And so what we're going to do is I hope, please, let's nobody tweet about this.
I'm not tweeting about
If they listen to the podcast, they'll find, if they listen to the podcast, they'll figure it out. But we're actually like going to up on the day of, we're going to make a big announcement. The dead god staking rate is actually gonna be 30 Dust a day.
Oh,
that makes the break even period just a month. Around a month.
Bruh.
Damn.
And so I think it's actually gonna be pretty big deal. Yeah.
That is a
If you don't
fucking big deal. Holy
If you don't
shit.
listen to DeGodCast, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You're
Jesus
losing
Christ,
money.
Frank. Yeah, goddamn.
Yeah, straight up. So because it just makes more sense, right? Like you're gonna spend 1,000 Dust, and we're gonna be constantly moving, and we're gonna do something fresh with Dust, like definitely within another month after Dead Gods goes live. So I'm just like, yo, give the people that upgrade to a Dead God an advantage for sure, because Dead Gods are ice, and I want everyone to upgrade to Dead Gods, but they're not gonna all be able to at first. So it's gonna be a long tail on that.
I think that just made my decision.
Gives you more of a reward to go earlier. Yeah.
I think that made my decision easier, because if I mean, I'm not a fucking math guy by any means, but in my head, I was like, I got 10 DeGods. I got enough Dust to Dead God half of them. So I make my money back in, I don't know, like fucking 5 days instead of 10 days. But yeah, 3x staking for that. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Fire.
So then when the halving period hits, it's going to be now 15 Dust, and then the DeGod is going to be 5 Dust. So that, if you think about that on a curve, it's actually a pretty advantageous thing at any given point to switch to a Dead God. It's always going to be 3x of whatever a DeGod is getting. And we think the art is going to be a lot better. So it'll be nice if they're going to be on the marketplace for everyone to upgrade. And that's just going to speed up the process for more people to upgrade their DeGod to a Dead God. So yeah, I think that's going to be really, really interesting to see how that plays out. And the order books are thin as fuck. So I think they're going to get thicker when we get to Dead Gods. But dude, like, I think right now the number is 80 Sol would basically sweep and clear out the entire order book for for Dust right now, and it would just be like a retarded green bar that just goes up to infinity. But I don't think that's going to happen because people put them at pretty high prices. So we're going to see how it fills out over time. But I think it's the best way to see what the market's going to value it at, and that squeeze is going to come at some point or another. I think it's probably going to be on the day we announce Dead Gods because of the 3x rewards or whatever. But it's interesting to see how it started out and where it's going to end up. We don't know. But
if you don't think that I can get 80 Sol dumped in the Dust right now, you don't.
I wouldn't recommend it because you're going to be buying some Dust at like a Sol, which would be retarded.
You don't know
right now at these prices. But yeah,
you don't know the fucking Mickeys. If you think we can't get
the Mickeys are
Sol.
crazy. Yeah.
Bro.
Dude, that was the thing with Dead.
Hey, yo,
Dead
just
Gods
for
were super fucking nervous.
Just for reference,
go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, just for reference, for when we all go back and like fucking like hear this shit, bro. Today's the 1st of March, 2022. All right. This is,
yeah. Good call out. I was gonna say we're kind of nervous, and we've been putting off doing the Mickey DeGod traits because those guys just deserve the best, and we're trying to think of what the best thing would be. It was almost funny, like doing something like the Mythic Halo or the we haven't done the Medusa yet.
You want some Mickey Alpha?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, I'll give you some Dust Alpha. The arbitrage word of the week is now leaning towards Famous Fox. It's 0.011 on Famous Fox, and it's 0.012 on Radium. So I'm about to scoop while we're on here. But we arbitrage. We AKA hit me up on Discord, and I think Nem hit up Bean and Fungi manager, kind of whatever you want to call him. To ask us like what we wanted for attributes, and we put together a group chat on Twitter with every Mickey, not every Mickey, but all of like the active Mickeys on the Discord, and we were just spitting ideas on what we think that the Dead God attribute should be, and we shot it over to AK, we shot it over to Nemesis. Like, obviously I have no idea what's going to end up happening.
So we read the ideas. I read the ideas. I'll say this is also just like Dead God's like lore thesis on it too. So basically the way it's going to work is it's going to work where common traits are the most, everything is basically like post life, it's death. Common traits are going to be the closest to death. So things are going to be killing them in the attributes. Things are going to be like pretty, like they're resting on like a like Savannah and death or whatever. And you get all the way down to Mythic, which is more like antimatter. And everything in between is kind of like different layers after death. So there's actually like a lot of storytelling going on in just the art itself. So the thing that I like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So with the Mickey DeGods ideas they sent over, I'm like, bro, your guys' traits are like super rares. We don't want to just do some basic dead shit. Like that's kind of what all the other ones are getting. So theirs are closer to antimatter. It's super rares. There's like, Mickey DeGod visor and the suit itself is both like pretty fucking rare. So we like the ideas, but they didn't know that going into it.
Dude,
so
I was going to say, now that you tell me that, all our ideas sound fucking stupid, bro. All right, so let me, dude.
Yeah,
can I give you this?
So
can I just give you like a overarching? This is like the writing prompt for what we all kind of thought the art should be. So obviously, what the biggest parts of Mickey's lore are the fucking smoking sessions in the walk-in and the broken ice cream machine all the time. And then, the motto is we're burning it and burnt fries and shit. So I think like my initial idea and again, this is when I thought it was just gods being killed by shit, was like somehow either the ice cream machine exploded when we were trying to fix it because it's always fucking broken, and there's like an ice cream machine handle like through the guy's chest or some shit, or like honestly, I think it was Bean that had the idea that they like died in a grease fire, and like you see the shirt is like melted and torn up, and they have like tattoos underneath and like a nipple piercing and like fucking all that. But I think just based,
the ice cream idea is kind of interesting, like because so the thing is with the color scheme too. I mean, like I'll be the first one to say the original DeGod's color scheme is way more random than it is well thought out. But when you hear how Delilah is thinking about this shit with the colors, it's fucking incredible because it works. And it's like you start out with the more commons, and those are more reserved colors. You reserve like the really beautiful colors and the more rare that you get. And so it's cool is like I could totally see a potential trait with the Mickey DeGods where we do, it's like the ice cream machine exploded and you have all these kind of transcendental ice cream colors that are covering the Mickey DeGod, the suit itself. I think that could be really interesting. And the one thing I thought, and you tell me if this fits with the lore, I was thinking to add like a little bit of like a manager pin on Gary. So it's like he got promoted to manager, but he's dead now. Like something along those lines where now they're fucking bosses in this dead god world, but they're still
I'll say one more thing too.
I don't know, I thought it'd be pretty funny.
There's only two, right? Double Mickeys. If you guys figure out a way to make those two kind of work with each other in the dead gods, I mean, they were probably going to do it anyways because apparently Delilah is a fucking beautiful man angel, smart bastard. But that I think is a must.
Dude, the Mickey DeGods are clouded for even being able to give an opinion on their own dead god traits. That's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, clouded as fuck, dude.
Dude, we gotta respect. Here at DeGods, we respect the whales, right? Like the thing with Urkon too is a great example. So I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it was actually an SMB that he had on that plot of land before it was a DeGod. What's funny is I actually, because I'm a petty motherfucker, I actually like Googled, I searched for when he tweeted about that. And when he tweeted about making the SMB on the massive plot of land on Sandbox, I think it only got like 100 something likes, like 5 replies, 10 replies or whatever it is. But like the DeGods community is literally just bowing down to Urkon. And that's kind of how you want to feel as a whale in a community is, hey, like, I'm buying a fuck ton of these e-liquid JPEGs, and I'm buying them because I believe in the future value, but I'm also buying this instead of some random DeFi coin because I like to be a fucking whale. It feels good to be the fucking GOAT in this community. And I felt that, I'll be honest, like on my DGen side, like I felt that coming to Desolates where I was like, yo, I just swept like 30 Desolates at once. I got all my homies to sweep Desolates. I hope you guys got some too. I think they're going to be fucking massive. Different story. Yeah, those are sick. But I came in the community and I was like, damn, not going to lie. The whale entrance was a little bit underwhelming compared to when somebody sweeps like a DeGod, like at the DeGod floor, they come in the chat, like that new guy, it's like COEGLYR. I don't know how to pronounce
it. It's like Koger.
The VD
Koger. Dude, when that guy came in, the video art guy, that guy's like a fucking Jesus in the DeGods community.
Yeah, he's the fucking man.
And that's what I like. We got to respect our whales. We got to treat them well because at the end of the day, like they're fucking awesome members of this community and they deserve like a special role because they're doing something that not a lot of people in the community can do. What they're doing is mythic. What they're doing is rare. That's going to be a big part of DeGods always going forward. If someone's about to drop a fucking bag on DeGods, we're going to be the community that shows them that love. And I love that about this community. So yeah, I think definitely respect the Mickey DeGods. Those guys are fucking balling,
Fucking G's.
Yeah.
Dude, so speaking about Koger, is he going to turn some water into wine when he drops this airdrop on us for the VD art? Kind of similar to like the looks rare.
I don't know too much about it. What was that?
I listened to the Big Brain Space today about marketplaces, and they hopped on there for a little bit. And I don't know if it's going to be like a bag, but it did sound like they're kind of doing what you guys have done and what other projects have done, where they're going to have exclusive mints. So let's say like it's an ME Launchpad type situation, but it's VD Art Launchpad. But instead of using Sol to mint whatever the collection is or the NFT, you use their token to mint it, which I thought was kind of sick. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love
dropping
that. I want to do that with DeGods one day.
And they're airdropping everyone tokens. You can go to their website and see how many you're going to get, but they're airdropping them based on how much you've spent on Magic
Speaking
Eden
of whales, speaking of, I think it's Solana or Magic Eden. Speaking of whales, I checked their fucking, I think it's like claim.vd.art or something, and it told me how much I've spent on ME in the last, I don't know, month or however long they've been tracking, and I felt like a fucking whale. And then I looked at my Phantom wallet and I was like, but where the fuck is all that money at?
Yeah, where is it?
It's all on DeGods, goddammit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, dude. I
also,
feel that heavy.
Also,
I feel that
speaking of
heavy.
whales, I think, yeah, bro, the fucking Mickey's boys. Like, first of all, I love how I think it was the Soul Army podcast where you like there was a tiny little segment on the Mickeys, and you were like, yeah, they're like these whales and shit. When in reality, it's like the manager and Bean, the dudes that started it, have like 5 DeGods between them and are just like trying to fucking hustle and shit. But then Johnny and Prince Akeem, who are boys in real life, are just buying up like these 100. Well, the Medusa, I think he bought for like 169 and turned down an offer for like, I don't know, 800 or something on rank 7. And they're just buying these things to fuck around, dude. Like they literally could give, I mean, obviously they care about the money, but it's like to them, like they're buying mythics at 4 soul. They're not like, oh, I'm going to flip this into a fat bag when DeGods goes to 30. Nobody was thinking that. They're buying these because they literally are just like, damn, this Mickey's like group of guys is like kind of fun and fun to fuck with. And like they make these dope ass videos and shit. And honestly, Mickey's, I love all the other subs. I think it's fire that we have these sub communities that have like either built something or are trying to build something. Like I know Sid with DeGods or whatever, like tries to do a bunch of shit for them. They're actually getting like DeGods basketball jerseys and shorts and shit. They hit me up to ask me if I wanted to buy some because I scooped a DeGod a week ago or so. But the fucking Mickeys are the GOAT, dude. And that is...
Yeah, and even if there's just a few whales in there, they move like they're whales, you know? Like the way that the floor price for Mickey DeGods is always way higher than the actual play. Like they move like they're whales. And the cool thing with DeGodCast is this is also some alpha here. So I got connected at Hacker House with one of the guys that's running the Michael Jordan NFT project. Yeah, Air.
Oh,
so
shit.
I'm going to talk to him, I think, later today. We'll see. We keep missing each other's schedules, but if we're going to do something, we might do something exclusive with DeGodCast. I know that guy that runs the project like swept a bunch of DeGoats and like shit like that. So I think it could be interesting partnership there with the sub communities. But yeah, dude, nobody moves. I think I
heard you say that, and I scooped I think it's rank like 984 D goat with a pimp chain and fucking halo wings for 25 soul. I don't know, a week ago when the floor was like 20, dude. It's my only like top 1,000 rank or whatever. I was like, I gotta fucking grab a rare one, and then I gotta grab a D goat because I didn't have one yet. And I listed that bitch for 90 last night. I was like, if it sells, I'll scoop 3 more off the floor. Like, it was after I'd heard about the air thing or whatever, and I was like, hey man, maybe it'll happen. Didn't sell, but, and then I delisted it and fucking staked it.
I love that shit though. Yeah. No, I love it because I think our listing count went like double after all the whales came in, which I understand because everyone was just listing at like literally insane prices just because, people are buying them at those prices. But it made me feel good to see guys like Urcon. Like I think Urcon was the one that owned, or was it Akeem that owned the 995 soul sale?
950? It was Urcon.
Yeah.
Because it was rank.
Yeah, it was Urcon.
I forget. But 7. Yeah, 7. And Akeem's is rank 9.
Rank 7.
Right. I talked to somebody else about that,
Yeah. I think Akeem bought one. I mean, Akeem got one that was bought. And it just feels good because it's like, these guys are whales in the community. Seeing these massive sales come in for them when they made a huge bet when DeGods was not where it's at right now, and they made like a top of the end purchase. Like that's like probably one of the best stories in DeGods because that's an insane appreciation, and that's I definitely feel good when I see people sell at high prices. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh dude, that's free or whatever. If it's like, bro, 5x the floor or whatever.
I mean, I'm still gonna say it's free.
Congratulations.
Word.
Bro, so
yeah. Still gotta rep the emoji.
who bought
for sure,
that shit for 950 sold? Do we know who that is?
None of us has any idea. One of the guys that bought for 400 was he DM'd me and he was like asking about the whole staking, something about Dust, and he was saying like he's from SMB land, and again like no shade to any other project, but he was just saying he's from SMB. He has a bunch of those, and he just thinks that the flippening is going to happen some point this year, so he was trying to front run it. And I think that's where the narrative for a lot of the bigger sales came from. That's what that guy said. Who the fuck knows? You know, like if that's the case for all of the people that bought, but that's what I'm starting to hear. But you know, we can't focus on shit like that, obviously. But that's what I'm hearing.
To tweet this for a while, but it's something that like pops in my head every so often. I feel like SMBs are washed, dude. Like, obviously, I respect the fuck out of them being OGs. Like, there's a shit ton of guys on Twitter that I respect the fuck out of because you know they have an SMB PFP, but they're also like spit gas on Twitter and are like smart dudes. But I never liked pixel art, period. And then I just feel like it's like they just don't do it for me anymore. I don't know if it's because I've been seeing them for so long, but like I'd rather have a DAA than an SMB, bro.
I'll be totally honest with you guys. Like, it's one of those trading things right now where they just got through a huge vote. So people that don't know, what happened with SMB is basically like Monkey DAO and SMB are two different things. It's the same NFT, but SMB team honestly just wasn't doing shit. And they were kind of like low-key soft rug. I'll just say it because we're like an hour into the podcast. Low-key like a soft rug. But Monkey DAO came together around that, and they just made this elite DAO with all these amazing people. And that's like the real value of buying an SMB. And well, I'll say is they just got through this huge vote. Now the Monkey DAO is finally getting royalties. And it's just one of those things in trading where you never want to make a call on where something's going to go after like a big moment, because we don't really know if it's going to go down from here or up, if this is the top, or if, you know, now they're finally empowered and they're going to make some big moves. So I think it's one of those things where if they actually come out of this and they go back to like a 200, 250 soul floor, like a soul floor, you could argue that they're more battle tested than almost any other NFT project in this space. And they've been on the ups and the downs. And if that's the case, it is a pretty compelling thing that they're going to stay on top for a while. That being said, we're in this gray area right now where nobody really knows. But the last thing I would do right now, to be totally honest, and that's also because I use the DAO SMB to go in the Discord to get alpha for DeGod's, but also like just to learn how they're running shit and all that. Like, I would be the last person
clarify
to fade
too.
SMB right now.
I'm not
like,
saying like I don't see the value. Like if I had the money to play around with, I would 100% buy a fucking SMB, because I am sure that the people in that community are fucking legends, and there's nothing but value to get from owning one. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just kind of over the art. I don't know. But I wanted to clarify that before I
understand where you're coming
different
from.
kind of monkeys coming at me on fucking Twitter.
Yeah, no, I think I'll give the counter argument to what I just said. So I'm saying both sides, which is we're living in a world right now where Bored Ape Yacht Club not only flipped CryptoPunks, but like flipped CryptoPunks. Like it flipped it, and then it went to 125 ETH floor in like the course of a week and a half. So it was not just a flip, it was a fucking flip and a half. And so we're just living in a world where a newer project that doesn't have that provenance, that's kind of like, I mean, BAYC minted last April, bro. So like that was crazy. So we're living in that NFT world right now. So I do think that the thesis that OG projects will always be on top is basically invalidated at this point. And I think the SMB guys, the reason why I'm saying don't fade them is I think they realize that too. And that's why they pushed for this vote. That's why everything is kind of moving in the way that it is. But yeah, I think it's just an open field right now for what's going to be the quote unquote number one. Not like it matters anyway, but yeah, I don't know.
No, I feel like it's really dope. Like, you know, really just what they chose to do. Like, you know, just even, you know, bring in, and I think it's dope to actually, you know, see them, you know, because I didn't really track too much like, you know, SMB stuff like anyway, but, you know, after, you know, doing a lot of reading, you know, really like, you know, that shit is, it's crazy just to think about when it comes down to the autonomy.
It's impressive, and it shows like how strong the community and the leaders are, that they can basically like mutiny the fucking entire team and like take shit over for themselves. Maybe not mutiny, because it's probably like somewhat mutual, but I mean, yeah, that's definitely speaks for how gas, I guess, the SMB community is.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how it
How do
plays
they
out,
do that though?
for
Like,
sure.
does the current team or the founders?
Well, think about it. If Nemesis and AK and all them had come to Frank and said, "Yo, get off your fucking ass and do something with the project," and Frank was just like, "Nah, y'all do it," boom. Like, okay, we'll take over the project and we'll make it happen for ourselves.
The royalty wallet, you know, like.
Well, they
yeah, and so
I'll
give the breakdown. There was, I was actually pro the full D-Rug, which was like the Monkey DAO would get 100% of all royalties going forward, and they would literally mint a new NFT and then they would basically make you trade in your current SMB for a Monkey DAO SMB. I was actually
like the entanglement thing, right?
Yeah, that was the whole entanglement thing, and I was actually like full on bullish on that, and I still think that would have been like the best option. But you know, people were very nice to the SMB team or whatever to get to this compromise, so you don't ruin the original provenance of the NFT, whatever the fuck. So now it's like more of a compromise, but the Monkey DAO is getting a much more significant portion of the royalty. They were getting 0 before. Like that's fucking insane. Like that's why I was so pro the Monkey DAO full on like D-Rug approach. Yeah, the coup, because I was like, bro, these guys have been grinding. Like I know one of the guys, Nam, and they've just been grinding, and I didn't know they were getting paid nothing for that work, the mod work and the community work they were doing. Like that's fucking insane to me.
That's insane.
yeah, it's fucked, right? So, I mean, I was trying to poach Nam like from day one. I was like, bro, come here, like we'll pay you, like I'm down. But the loyalty is there. It's very real community. So we'll see how it goes. I'm actually very curious. But yeah, I was pro the route of just like fuck the creators. Like who gives a shit about them? Like the Monkey DAO is the real value. Let's just hand the entire thing over to the Monkey DAO. But it looks like there's a compromise where both parties get royalties or whatever. But yeah.
Really, honestly, we were just talking about arbitrage, right?
Yes,
and so really, and like about the definition of that. So I got a question, Frank. Like when it comes to and it's about game theory. And I know you had that fucking. I remember you had that fucking big ass stack of books.
Yeah.
That I don't even know. That was a while ago. But me personally, like I didn't know what the fuck game theory was. Like I'm like. You're like game. I mean, you've been talking about game theory for a minute, and I'm just like, what the fuck, game theory? I'm like, oh yeah, whatever the fuck that is,
Yeah.
So, right. So, really, my question is like game theory. Where did that come from? Like we all like choose to over nerd into certain things, but like for you, like why? I guess what made you so fascinated with like human behavior? Like the economics, was it, the psychology, like what pulled you into like the concept of, game theory so hard?
I think it really started with sports betting, honestly. Like just understand like, it was interesting stuff, where with sports betting, sometimes you watch for line move and most of it's just arbed out at this point, but like early days, with these crypto sports books or whatever, you can find like when lines move, there's a certain reason for them. And it was just really like a money thing where I was like, okay, how do I stack up the most money from stuff outside of just working? And that's kind of where it started. But what it really became a huge thing was when it came to growth engineering. So my last few startups, it was basically almost the same situation. So after I started my own company, I got tapped multiple times for different projects where they would companies, where they would hire me as like one of the first growth engineer, growth marketing guys there. And they would be like, all right, we have X budget or we have X like thing goal that we want to hit. Like figure out how we're going to hit that goal. Just do it. And then, we'll check back in. And I almost always had full autonomy at these places. And it was just like, if you want to get outsized results, you need to align a lot of different people to do different things. So the best example of this, I think, without doxing my previous jobs, was just I did a lot of paid acquisition where I had to do a lot of really crazy stuff with a pretty small budget. So you'd just be forced to get really creative to make people want to click on these ads, make people really want to like not just click on the ads, but go through the entire conversion funnel, etc. And that's when you start studying like behavioral economics or just behavioral science, not in like a textbook way, but just like, A/B test, which one works better? Why do I think this one works better? Why does more people click on this ad versus that ad? I think that's where it started. And then with crypto, I think where it got really interesting was you realize that everybody is basically moving with aligned incentives. So there's some communities and some projects where the incentives aren't very aligned. You're basically just lining the founders' pockets. That thing kind of goes up and then crashes and burns. And then you have other communities where, I mean, Bitcoin is a great example where it's just game theory from the very inception of it.
Yeah,
that's what triggered me on to Bitcoin. Like summer of last year was, I honestly, and I know this is like a cringe answer to say because it wasn't necessarily the price or whatever. Somebody just told me that was really deep into Bitcoin way before me. Dude, I know you, Frank. Like, I know what you're like. Just go read the white paper, and I think you'll be sold on everything with Bitcoin. And when I read the white paper, I was like, oh, this motherfucker Satoshi just made it so it's just the perfect version of aligned incentives. And that's what kind of sent me down the rabbit hole where I saw, holy fuck, so much of money, so much of market moving, so much of just insane innovation has been built around this basic concept of aligning incentives. And bringing that to crypto and bringing that to NFTs just felt like the natural progression and what's happening in the whole space overall. I know it's kind of a long-winded answer. It's just one of those things where people are all interested in different things. For me, it was never the textbook side of like the books helped. Like, they helped and it made me like be able to articulate certain concepts better. But overall, it's just people decide to go make one action. And why do they decide to take that action over another? And the herd of people in its entirety usually make a decision. Sometimes a smart decision, or sometimes certain cues or triggers make them make that decision, but it wasn't the best decision for themselves. Just shit like that I think is interesting, and seeing that play out.
Opportunity cost and shit.
Yeah, opportunity cost. stuff like that. I wish I was better, honestly, at articulating this right now. Maybe I need to do one of the Frankest typing blogs on my thoughts on it, but I just think it drives a lot of all of our day-to-day actions, all of our day-to-day decisions, and it's on steroids in crypto. So understanding that always felt like a good thing to understand. And I'm by no means an expert in game theory. I'm not like a PhD in game theory or whatever. I just think by practice of like the previous stuff I did in my life when it came to growth engineering, just lended itself really well to applying that in NFTs. Like Solympus was probably the best first example of it. And then even like DeGods follow DeGods. It is kind of like a dopamine hit. You know, if you think about it, creating the culture where people are down to follow other DeGods, but making that so it's not like in a bad way where you want to unfollow every other DeGod. Like that is, and it's macro, a game theory kind of like alignment of incentives. Because you join DeGods, you know you're going to have a community. Now you have this community where everybody is just talking about DeGods. You become a bigger and bigger fan of DeGods. You contribute more to the project. You give us more alpha, etc. So it's just aligning on every layer people's incentives to, you know, like DeGods more, to contribute to DeGods more, and then get more value out of DeGods because it's a pool of value that's being created. So just trying to do that on every level. Now with Dust, it's the next layer of that as well. We have a massive, it's like, think about it like this. We have a massive treasury of like 3,700 SOL right now. It's only growing every single day. How can we reallocate that capital in a way that makes it interesting? And for people that want to play this game, we'll be able to gain from the SOL that we have in that treasury, but keep it interesting, because by keeping it interesting, you make it so it's not just an instant liquidity drain. You have longevity, and you're actually able to add to that because it creates more volume and creates more trading demand for DeGods itself. So that's kind of the cookie that we're trying to crack. I think auctions and raffles, and then soon buy it nows for DeGods, because we know the dust value of them as well, is going to be a big ongoing thing. Like right now, it's kind of sparse because we're building that shit as we go. But in the long term, it's just going to be, you get a DeGod, you're just going to start getting dust, and you're going to be able to, you know, every single day, there's going to be some raffles, some auctions or whatever going on. And we want to just make that so mathematically it's sustainable, and we get good marketing out of crazy plays that people make from the dust purchases that they do. They'll tweet about it. They'll be like, yo, I just got this and flipped it, etc. That's going to be marketing. That's going to bring in more trading volume. And then more people come in. The DAO has more money to, you know, buy more NFTs, buy maybe tokens, whitelist, merch, whatever. And as long as it keeps cycling in, it's sustainable. I think that's like an example of macro dust game theory on the internal side. And then we can make big moves like Magic Eden accepting it. Obviously, Dead Gods is like a big move. Maybe another,
that was like the answer version of the Galaxy Brain meme, where the guy's brain.
No, bro, honestly, I think it's just crazy.
That shit just went deeper,
you know, it's crazy,
deeper. Good lord.
Yo, hey, word. But you know, I always thought it was interesting, just like, you know, over time, like, you know, let's say, because me, like, you know, I just got like into NFTs and shit, like, and really just into fucking crypto in like fucking September. Like,
unless you count Top Shot.
Anything, yeah. So, yeah, it's like, you know, shit's fucking crazy. So, you know, but it's crazy for DeGods. Like, it's actually like the second project that I actually found on Solana. And that's the thing that actually fucking like brought me, like, fucking pulled me into fucking DeGods, is because I had just recently read the Bitcoin white paper. And, you know, I was like, you know, doing really tons of fucking reading. I'm like fucking, you know, like a fucking monk, bro, with the candle. You know what I mean? Got these books and my fucking laptop open and shit. But, you know, yeah, like, you know, I seen fucking the word deflationary, and I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Deflationary, that's Bitcoin, you know what I mean? So me, like, with no actual, like, real, like, financial, you know, I guess background, like, you know, because for me, I actually fucking, I got kicked out. So when I was in high school, you know, I used to get in a lot of fights and shit. So I actually got kicked out. So I ended up getting my GED, and then I went to college, and I didn't do like any fucking thing that had to do with like math. You know, I stayed away from the shit that I didn't want to do. I got a fucking science degree. I was working on a philosophy degree. You know what I mean? Everything that's like has nothing to do with like fucking, you know, I guess like business and shit like that. I never really cared that much. But, you know, yeah, no, I think it's fucking crazy. You know, I think it's fascinating, like all this shit. You know, I just be over here. You know, people be fucking doing all this fucking talking, all this social engagement and shit, and me, I just be reading.
When the fuck did Bitcoin have a white paper?
Bruh.
I found out about Bitcoin in like 2011.
Oh, since forever, since it came out.
Yeah, since they will.
Oh, so you're saying like you
Bitcoin
read this
like
recently, but it was like their OG shit and it was gas. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, when the fuck
And dude,
did
I'll
y'all
tell
find
you,
out about
in my
Bitcoin,
opinion, it's
dude?
probably the
Damn.
most. Yeah, I found about Bitcoin. I mean, I knew everyone knew about Bitcoin way before, and everyone should have bought it right when they heard about it. But obviously, not many of us did. But no, I think summer of last year. Actually, the first time I really started considering Bitcoin was Michael Saylor. Huge inspiration, honestly, on a personal level to me. I just love how much of a Giga Chad that guy is. Like, I joke,
That's
I want to
super
be.
ape.
Yeah, I want to be like Urcon. I want to be like fucking Michael Saylor. I want to be like these guys, like even Joey Bagas.
Fucking Sam
these
Kronik.
Giga Chads, yeah, Sam Kronik, like these guys that just buy something, have a massive conviction in it, and hold it, are almost always the biggest winners in any given space. Whether it's stocks, whether it's you just buy something with high conviction and a large tick size, and you're pretty much good to go if you make the bet correctly. Even Warren Buffett, the boomer that he is, that's literally his whole thesis on investing is. Instead of diversifying and being a fucking like middle brain, like like I'm trading this or whatever, it's like, bro, just Chad, come in, be a Chad, buy a fuck ton of something. And if you pick the right thing, you're going to make way more money. Like Michael Saylor made $4 billion, something like that last year. That's way more than any of these like crypto traders that are flexing on Twitter. Like, I made my 100X. Yeah, but you made 100X on like $100.
Key
Michael
word
Saylor
there is you got to buy the right thing.
Yes.
When
Agreed.
Go. No.
And I want to wrap one. Oh, yeah, go for it. I'll just wrap up real quick on the game theory thing. The one thing that's important for people to know is like there's actually a lot of really interesting experiments and like big brain white papers and all this shit in the crypto space. But most of those projects are just NGMI or they don't make it for a very specific reason because they forget the one factor that's not in this whole game theory, white paper, like tokenomics landscape, which is just like, are there more people that want to buy this thing than sell this thing? And you can never get out of that equation. Like if that equation doesn't work out or the math doesn't check out there, it doesn't matter how big brain your idea is. I think PHBT taught everybody here that. Like I think the concept at its core on a fucking, on a paper that's stapled on the wall is like, all right, that's a cool idea. But when you actually put it into practice, the real world plays into it and it's not that exciting of an idea and it kind of dies out pretty quickly and it's not interesting anymore. So you destroy the base that you need, which is just people buying and selling that thing. And so that's the biggest learning lesson going forward with DeGods that people need to know. Tokenomics are going to be cool. We've thought through a lot of this shit. But at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to branding, marketing. How do people find out about DeGods? Do they like the art? Do they want to collect one? Do they want to collect multiple? Like there's no amount of tokenomics or Ponzi-nomics or whatever people want to call it that's going to get you out of that simple, equation. And so that's, I think, what people need to know about DeGods. It's never going to be the focus. Right now, the focus is dust because that's what we have. Once DeGods comes out, once we start moving in a different direction, it's going to be way more fun, way more accessible. And just like, that's just going to be the infrastructure that lets people play this game of dust. But it's not going to be forever the main focus is how do we make this more of a Ponzi
so my
or whatever.
Answer for
just want to wrap
for
up
people who in the past have always asked me what the fuck is going on with DeGods has always been, I don't know, but like Frank's going to do his thing and we'll be fine. And that seems like that's still the answer. So it just occurred to me that I found out about Bitcoin. The first time, two times have I considered buying Bitcoin in my life. First time was in high school. I learned about the Silk Road and the dark web.
The Silk Road. Yeah, word.
And I learned that you could buy drugs on this Silk Road. And the only way you could buy these drugs was with this magic internet money called Bitcoin. And at the time,
that, or you could trade like a small person. You know what I mean? Like you sell people and shit.
yeah. There were different ways to go about it for sure. I had a buddy who kind of put me onto it, and at the time, Bitcoin was $9, and I looked into the setting up of the wallet, and I was like, the seed phrase is too fucking long, and I don't have an iPhone to write it down. Like, I'm gonna lose a piece of paper, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. So I just bought drugs from my buddy who put me onto Bitcoin. And then the second time,
I got a similar.
Go for it. Yeah. Because this is what I just fucking thought of, and I was like, God, this is like the most ironic thing. Second time was 2013, and I think Bitcoin was like $30, and I was still looking at Silk Road, but this time I was gonna buy counterfeit money with Bitcoin.
This
and I was
guy,
like, I can turn
fucking criminal.
I can turn $100 into $500. I can 5x my money if I just use this Bitcoin shit to buy fake counterfeit money with. I can 5x my money at fucking like $30 Bitcoin. What if I just bought those Bitcoins anyways at $30? God damn it. fucking haunts my dreams, bro.
I'm telling the feds, bro.
Never did any of it. All allegedly.
Yeah, back in the day in college, my buddy was selling fake IDs, and he was like ordering all the shit, I think, on Silk Road. Like he had it like on lock, like the holograms, and they would actually scan and shit, like when the bouncers scanned it. So like he was doing all that with Bitcoin. And you know, that's back when you were saying, I don't know how much it costs, like it was cents or dollars or something. And yeah, he obviously lost that wallet. He's looking for it. He's been looking for it for years, because even if you just left like, you know,
a couple
10 bucks in it back in the day, it's like
$100,000.
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
couple,
So like,
bro.
yeah, he's been looking for it for
Fuck,
years, but it's
man.
gone.
Yeah, gone. And that was, yeah.
I have a question for you guys. What do you guys think about Bitcoin? I think if you have heard me speak about it before, what do you guys think about Bitcoin? Like, what's your take on it? Do you guys have some? Like, how do you think about that in your overall portfolio?
My thoughts on Bitcoin are similar to when I see like a project blow up and go to 100 floor price, I miss the boat. And I'm not going to buy it because of that. And that part of that is why when I found out about Solana and I kind of did a little bit of research, because I didn't want to, you know, be the idiot I was back in the day. I was like, this shit kind of has potential, and I'm going to fucking hop in this and not like skip it and miss the boat like I did on Bitcoin back in 2011. So I don't think, maybe I like owning whole bits of something. So for me, the thought of like, I'm not going to fucking empty my life savings into it. So the thought of buying like, you know, 0.01 Bitcoin to me just is kind of, it doesn't really, you know, get me going at all. But yeah, I mean, I've heard you talk about how you think it's going up forever and ever, and maybe one day I'll buy some, but I feel like I'm also more of I'm like a instant gratification guy. Like I want to, you know, 100x in the next 5 years. You know what I mean? So like that's why when I found out about Near,
I feel that.
and I, you know, talked to some people about Near, talked to Big Brain about Near, and he was like, well, buying Near now is like buying Solana at $15, NFA, blah, 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 whatever. I was like, well, shit, I'm going to grab myself a bag of Near, because there's a chance that this bag is, you know, fucking 10x, 20x in the next year or so. And then boom, I just like put a down payment on a house.
You see, I was going to say for me, bro, like, you know, honestly, hey, I'm just dollar cost averaging, bro. Just stacking sets. You know, I don't really think about it like in the sense of like, I guess, like buying like 0.01 like Bitcoin or whatever. Really, I'm just thinking, yo, just stacking my sats. I've probably read more, let's say anything about crypto. I've probably read more Bitcoin things than anything. Bro, I've read so fucking much about Bitcoin. Yeah, bro. I'm stacking sats. I continue to stack sats, you know, and really just think about it from like a dollar cost average point. Just kind of like, yo, like, you know, every, you know, let's say from like my job, you know, X amount, you know, automatically boom, by X amount, you know, for whatever amount, and just keep going, you know, until the end.
So you're treating it like a stock, like you're putting a couple bucks into fucking Google or Apple every paycheck, because it's just
honestly, I just kind of think about it because I think it's kind of like one of those things, like the way I kind of think about it, really, I'm thinking about, let's say if the world's still here, right? 2140, you know, it's kind of like, yo, man, like
are you going to be here 2140?
Bro, the fuck? Hell no, bro. But I'm just saying, like, just, you know, just thinking that long, you know, honestly, like, I feel like it's something that, we're kind of talking about it now. Like, we're talking about Bitcoin, talking about shit coins, talking about fucking NFT. We're talking about all types of shit in crypto, right? We could also talk about, like, let's say stocks, companies, and shit like that. But, you know, when it comes down to, I guess, what I understand, or what I think I understand from all the shit that I've read, like, you know, this is a bus that I'm not going to miss. I'm cool, bro. Like, I was going to say my conviction is here. You know, so I'm definitely Bitcoin guy.
What about you, Slate?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way as JB, but I really need to start putting more money into Bitcoin. But right now I'm all in on Sol. But that's because I need to make a ton of money before I start putting it into Bitcoin. I want to, like, you know, 10, 20x or whatever, and then start saving money in Bitcoin instead of putting it all in right now and hoping to make a bag off of it.
Yeah, I'm making gains right now. Like I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Hey, I respect the hustle.
Like that's
sure.
some that's like what fucking Johnny does. He chucks like, damn, I just name dropped a fucking Mickey Whale, but he chucks like 50,000 into every IDO that comes out, and makes his bags here. But then he has like chucks a little bit of all of his profits into his longs or whatever. So I think I'm still at the phase where like I'm still trying to chase a fucking starter bag. Honestly, my goal like a few months ago, like we found out that we were gonna have to move out of our condo that we live in. My goal was to be able to put a down payment on a house by August. So I'm doing that right now. So I'm shooting for like 30K USD by August. So get these fucking DeGods rolling,
dude. Let's go. Yeah. Devs need to do something. 100%. I'll say a little bit on my thoughts on this. I just want to get a chance to space to clear it up. I guess. Look, here's what I think. I'm basically a Sol and Bitcoin maxi at this point, and I started out as pretty much a Bitcoin maxi. I'll tell you why. I'll start with Solana and then I'll get to Bitcoin. So to me, Solana is just in this smart contract race, and that race is right now with Ethereum. It's with things like Near, Atom, Cardano, BNB. You have a pretty crowded space of competition, and when you just look at it objectively, like Solana is probably the most performant out of all of those chains. They're pretty institutional and not that decentralized, which I like a lot because for a smart contract, it never made sense for me for it to be completely decentralized because it's supposed to be for utility. That's the point of a smart contract, is for utility. So do people and users really care more about decentralization or if the fucking thing does what they want it to do? And I think we've already seen that play out with human species when it comes to the privacy and the terms of service with Facebook and all. Like, people are down to give up and trade off on shit if it means their things are going to be free, if it means their things are going to be better. So people are down for that trade-off. We've already seen it, and nobody's really reversing in that direction in any major way. So in the long term, medium term, I'm bullish on Solana, but you also have to recognize I'm bullish on Solana because it came out and it's crushing it. So if 2 years from now, a chain comes out and it does everything that Solana does, and it's better, and it's more scalable, et cetera, you're going to have to rethink your conviction because it's a crowded space, and maybe that thing is better. And I don't know what's going to happen with this smart contract battle. Maybe ETH is just already won, and it's going to keep getting bigger. We have no idea, really, where the smart contract space is going to go. But when it comes to Bitcoin, there's just zero competition for what Bitcoin does in the long term. And I'm talking like long term.
Yeah,
and
word.
As a store of value, as something that had a perfect, immaculate conception that literally started where people were just mining that shit in their basements all around the world, had zero value when it started out, started to collect value. People understood it better, et cetera. Now there's miners all around the world. There's like 8 public companies that are literally Bitcoin mining companies. You have companies that are putting their treasury. You have a country that's made it their fucking, reserve currency. And you just see all this shit happening that I'm just like, all right, in retrospect, the money that's in sovereign wealth funds, the money that's in like trading energy internationally, the potential market cap of where a store of value asset, when the dollar is complete shit in the long term, where that could go, I have no fucking idea. Like the moon potential for that in the long term is just like limitless. Where with smart contract platforms, it might end up being a race to the bottom in that ETH collects the most gas fees as a revenue model. So it's like getting the most, and that's why so much value is accruing to ETH. Where Solana gets nothing, but it's gaining so many users. There's more transactions on Magic Eden every day than there are on OpenSea.
Yeah, it's more user friendly for like new people.
Yeah, and it's like utility based, and it's like great analogy, which is not like the perfect analogy, but for the NFT degens in the room, you see a lot of utility based NFTs come out. Like there's a bunch of these tools. What is like Hydra scripts, like Soluminati, whatever these like utility based NFTs are, and none of them will ever compare in floor price to anything like a fucking Bored Ape or even potentially like a DeGod or an SMB or something that's more art, and the value isn't like tied to this one utility because the ceiling on that is basically infinity. And the same thing goes for, I think, Bitcoin on a much macro, much larger scale, where I'm like, could we see a Bitcoin only run in the next few years? I would say the probability of that is higher than 50%, given that the money that's going into Bitcoin is very different than the VC money and the people that are going into smart contract platforms. So the reason why it makes sense potentially to stack sats compared to altcoins is in a race like this, you just don't know when that moment's going to be where we hit the top of that market cap and all of the money rotates into Bitcoin. We've seen it happen already after the last cycle. when everything was crashing, Bitcoin dominance went from a bottom of 29% all the way up to 73%. Like everybody and their mom was rotating all of their altcoins into Bitcoin. ETH went down to $80. And if you don't want to exit the crypto ecosystem, it just seems like it might be smart to continue to stack sats. And again, this is NFA. This is just purely like my opinion on the space. I've given my outline on why I think Solana has a long way to run up, continue, and I have most of my wealth is in both Bitcoin and Solana. But I will just say, like, you know, I hear it too much and too often in this space where people are new to the space. People are just talking shit about Bitcoin. It's a boomer coin, whatever. But like, that was the same shit when I was reading, and I went deep in my archive, similar to you, chapter, just reading how the sentiment was in 2017, 2018. And Bitcoin dominance went lower at that time, but it didn't go as low on this cycle. So I don't know. It just feels like it might end up being where history repeats. Even right now, it's kind of a Bitcoin, mostly a Bitcoin run right now. Solana's doing well, Luna's doing well, but Bitcoin dominance is going back up. So just like, I wouldn't discount it. You know, Michael Saylor, last thing I'll say on this rant, and I'm done. Hopefully this is interesting for some people out there that are listening.
Snoozer.
Michael Saylor has this awesome thing that he always says. He always goes, you know, everyone has these models on price. Everyone has these models on like how the price action of Bitcoin is doing. All it takes is 10 billionaires around the world deciding they each want to buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, and all your models are broken. All those billionaires are going to make literally, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars on one trade. And he's just like, it's a sleeping giant that's waiting to be woken up. Elon Musk announced that they're going to buy fucking Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin went up by $10,000. And that was one dude. There's tons of billionaires out there. And one day, and Michael Saylor talks about this all the time, one day, one of them are going to realize all I have to do, it's just like when the DDAO buys an NFT, it's straight up the same thing. All I have to do is announce I'm buying $1 billion of Bitcoin, and immediately my Bitcoin and my dollar value in that Bitcoin is going to go up by potentially, you know, 1.5x, 2x, etc. And there's not many things in the world where that is a potential reality. So just come back to game theory. I think it's just more inevitable than it is unlikely that one of these days Bitcoin just decouples again from the rest of the crypto space. And I definitely want to be on that train when that happens. And the tax regulation stuff. Yeah, and the tax regulation stuff. What's going to happen with the SEC? Obviously, they've already said Bitcoin is separate from everything, like in terms of it's a property, etc. Like all these things where you just don't know where the crypto space is going to go. So you have a higher risk ratio, so you can make more gains, like you're saying. But to have zero exposure to Bitcoin, I think it's probably not the move. Yeah, it's probably not the move. I can't relate. In my opinion, but I respect the hustle. Yeah,
definitely
100%.
Rethinking it now, though, like having heard that, because I'd never even thought about it in that way.
Yeah, fucking be right back. Let me floor some DeGods and buy some Bitcoin real quick. Jesus.
Exactly.
Well, besides that.
Dude.
Yeah,
10 billionaires, that's it? That's all it takes?
That's all it takes, you know, when you really think about it. And all of them are motivated and incentivized financially to do it. It's just a ticking time bomb for when it happens. But it's definitely not one of the things like Solana or DeGods or whatever you're holding that you're like waiting for the 100x or whatever. It's not one of those things. Right. It's like a retirement fund type of thing. You just don't want to miss that.
I love how you started that with
like
the big brain numbers backed answer on why to buy Bitcoin. And at the very end, you chucked one in for the fucking midgets like me. And you were like, oh, wow, it's that quick for it to blow up. All right, I'm going to buy some too. I appreciate that. I needed the TLDR at the end there.
Well, I mean, I think about that too. You know, it sucks to see Bitcoin go down. You're like, oh, it's a hedge against inflation. Yeah. Oh, fuck, the dollar's outperforming this thing for like the last 3 months or whatever. But yeah, it's trains your diamond hands, bro. Like I have diamond dick hands now because I've been holding Bitcoin and watching it go up and down, buying tops, all that shit.
I think I'm gonna snag a couple questions. We posted a tweet. What the fuck should we ask Frank on DeGodCast? And I'm just gonna read like a couple of them that were kind of like maybe common or maybe good questions. I think what a lot of people asked about is like a fucking book that they can read to be on some big brain shit. Like a lot of people basically asked, you know, like what do you read? What do you listen to? Blah 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 to get all this shit going on in your head, and it's the worst way possible to explain everything we've been talking about. But we've been going at it for a while.
Yeah, I have three things I think are like my North Stars. It's number one, Paul Graham and Paul Graham's essays. Like somebody will write it down. I'll tweet it, whatever. But like I'll say it. It's like number one is definitely Paul Graham. He's the guy that started Y Combinator, and he has this website, paulgraham.com, and he has all these essays. And dude, I just have never read somebody that keeps things so interesting and engaging some of it's about business building, some of it's about philosophy, some of it's about like just like raw, like how do you get shit done, the value of hard work, like what he wishes he would have done after high school, like just cool shit that's kind of like relatable, even though he's kind of old. And I think that is probably like what got me started in this whole like business building, like, you know, building things, etc. wave. So I think that Naval, I think probably a lot of us here have heard of Naval Ravnikant, like pretty base dude. He's like big in the startup tech space. He has a podcast on Joe Rogan. If you haven't heard that, I mean, like, I would just recommend to just ape the fuck into that podcast, like ASAP. It's probably the best thing you can listen to that's 2 hours long. Fuck this podcast. I love this podcast.
Hey, fuck
like,
you, Frank.
The Naval podcast is no, I mean, this is like close. It's getting there. You know, once you get me off the podcast, it's gonna be a lot better. Yeah, Naval's podcast on Joe Rogan is a great place to start. And then there's this book this guy made about Naval called the Almanac of Naval Ravnikant or whatever. And that one's also really great. He just explains things again. Like, you guys will notice a theme here. It's just like super simple, clear, but also just hits in a different way. So those are like the two key ones. And then in terms of game theory and game design, I know people have brought it up. There's this book on Amazon. It's got like 20 people that have bought it. I bought it and I read the shit and I was like, oh, wow. It's not even about game theory when it comes to NFTs. It's more about game design. Like, how do you create and set up a game? Game theory is more about like personal decision making, etc. But game design is about how you set up these kind of microeconomies. It's called Intro to Game Design. It's got like 20 stars, like whatever on Amazon. But the guy just bars it. He just explains everything really, really simple and clean. I think those are like the main three things that I think are really consumable, easy to digest, and all of it is just packed with just straight bangers. Like, it's awesome.
This one says, find out how big his balls are, please. Do you got numbers on those or?
No, I don't have numbers on it. Pretty, I'd say it's average, you know, perfectly average for a guy, you know, like, yeah.
100%. Airmans wants to know what's on the playlist.
Playboy Cardi, Frank Ocean. Let's see what else. I mean, I did like Brockhampton a lot. I think Drake is also great.
You still
like
fuck
some of
with
his
Kanye?
stuff. Yeah, I do like Kanye, but like his recent stuff, like Life of Pablo is probably one of the best albums ever made, in my opinion. Like, that shit, if you listen to that today, it's just like, dude, there's just nonstop. It's just fire, like the whole way through.
Word. You could like
before you
like
guys got on when Slade turned his camera on, I told him he looked like a white Kanye, and he said, "But I'm black."
I said I'm black. I'm not even white, dude.
It's the screen glare, I guess. But
shit.
isn't it kind of a little like Kanye, like a light skinned Kanye?
Yo, Frank, I got a question. So Frank, top 5. Who are your top 5 rappers? Like who's your top 5 rappers? Like, just off the top of the dome.
I think for me, number 1 is Playboy Cardi, except for like the most recent shit with a whole lot of red. But his first 2 albums are just like absolute perfection. I think after that, it's got to be Drake, and then Kanye, and then after that, it's tough. There's this guy named Snot that I just personally just fucking love a lot. He's not like that.
Where's he from? Is that?
I have no idea where he's from. He's just like, he's new or he's younger, but I just love like pretty much everything he's put out recently. And then, dude, the top 5 is always
just
tough.
three is fine.
Yeah, it is. Right, yeah, word.
Top 5 is hard.
Yeah, I think those are like the top 3 for sure.
Plus
yeah,
Snot.
those are the top 3
I'm gonna
for
look
sure.
that up.
But I also like this genre of music called hyperpop. When I take Adderall and listen to hyperpop, it gets me like to work pretty hardcore. Oh, Kevin Abstract is another guy. He's the guy from Brockhampton.
Okay.
I think he's just like fucking awesome. He's on the come up. He's really sick too. He made Brockhampton.
Hyperpop like
awesome.
fucking K-pop or something?
He has an interview with Rick Rubin.
What is up?
No, it's like when you hear 100 Gex is probably like the biggest of the hyperpop like bands or whatever, but it's just where people do like kind of crazier vocal effects. It's very like candy pop. The biggest song, if you guys heard it, it's called Sugar Crash. It was like a big song on TikTok. But yeah, I mean, hyperpop is just good for fucking working, and I think there's some good stuff there. There's a guy named Deco. He just makes like sick rap plus hyperpop stuff. But I know it sounds kind of lame, but I think it's actually pretty sick. Yeah, I think Bacardi to me, dude, is just like the fucking goat, man. Like his early shit before Whole Lotta Red, I could listen to that 24/7. Cool. All of it is fucking awesome. Yeah. And Frank Ocean is my favorite artist. Obviously, the name Frank.
Hey, word.
Bro, I'm
word.
on that.
I feel that.
On that same
Yeah,
deal, bro. Like Frank Ocean Blonde. I kind of curved it at first when I heard it because I was
Same. Dude,
I was
same.
waiting for like another Channel Orange, and then like I saw my boy on Twitter like always talking about like Blonde is the best album of all time, blah blah blah, and I was like, all right, I'll go back and listen to it, and like when I like gave it another chance, it became my hands down favorite album of all time.
Dude, that's just crazy.
This is actually related to DeGod's. I'll tell you this. So with Frank Ocean and Blonde, I was also a big Channel Orange fan, and I heard Blonde exact same way. I kind of curved it at first because, like, what are you expecting, right? This guy made "Thinking About You," and the first song that you hear is this dude with a super like chipmunk voice. That's kind of it's just off-putting.
Yeah,
you're like, what am I listening to at first? But the guy put so much of thought and effort and into the actual album, and it's still a fucking pop album. It still went #1, but it wasn't what anybody was expecting. But he still made it consumer friendly, and anybody could listen to Nights. Anybody could listen to Solo. Anybody could listen to Ivy. Like, he still had the bangers and the hits in there, but he made it in an interesting way that nobody was expecting. And we always say that internally with the team, with DeGodCast. We're trying to make DeGodCast like the Blonde for DeGodCast being Channel Orange in a way where it's like, yo, this is not what people are expecting. This is going to be brutal. It's going to be like different from the other art that exists out there, but it's still going to be a pop song at the end of the day. It's still going to be a pop album. Like and that's why, if you guys have noticed, a lot of the early previews that we made were more just like poppy, full of color, just like rainbow shit happening everywhere. But now that we've been really kind of narrowing down all the different elements and the attributes, we talk about all the time where, we made something sick with the original DeGodCast, but with DeGodCast, we want to make it where it's more challenging, but the people that really fuck with it are going to fuck with it on another level where there's just like lore in little pieces of the fucking art, but it's also just an icy color. You look at it zoomed out, it's still dope. It still looks sick. You still want to rep that DeGodCast. But
I've heard,
we're trying to make Blonde.
I've heard Blonde
100%.
hundreds of times, and I still hear some new stuff every once in a while when I'm listening to it. When I'm really listening, I hear a new thing that he did.
Here's a good question. What's your favorite Blonde? I'm the same way. I think I've listened to it 1 billion times. I have the Boys Don't Cry like magazine. Fucking amazing. We're looking at that for some inspiration too. I love everything Frank Ocean's ever touched. But what are you guys' favorite songs on Blonde? I gotta ask.
I can't even tell you my favorite song because like the way that I listen to it all the way through every single time. So it's like kind of one big song to me. So I can't even tell you what my favorite song is on that one.
Yeah, I would say like what it really kind of goes back and forth. Like when it comes, because you know how like you'll just be like listening to some shit and then you'd be like vibing to some shit for a while, and then it's kind of like then you go off listen to some other shit and then you you rediscover that album almost. So I would probably say like for me I'd probably say what's it? I can't remember if I think it, I honestly I think let's say the last song. No, White Ferrari for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. I still, I don't know. Like at first I wasn't fucking with it, but still I'd be, listen to that poolside convo.
Last night.
What is that? Self-control.
Oh, I love
self-control. Yeah, like the vulnerability. You know what I mean? Just to think about that shit. Actually, it was, I remember when this shit dropped. I remember I heard this shit and I was like, wait a minute, wait, what? Like, it's just, conceptually, like, like holy shit, like, just thinking about, just thinking through like some of this shit. Like Frank Ocean's a fucking G, bro. Straight up.
Absolute genius. For me, it's like you said, the last song. That's actually my favorite. It's called "Future of Free," and dude, I feel like every time something amazing happens in my life, I'll listen to that song because it's like the most nostalgic, reflective song. He's talking about how it used to work, like
Oh yeah,
job
it is the last song. Yep, it is the last song. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
I'm looking at the lyrics. Yeah, it's this one. Yep,
dude. It hits so hard. And what's cool, even with Frank Ocean related to NFTs and shit, funny connection here, but it's like, I'm a huge fan, right? Like I'm on the subreddit. I'm a stan. Like I really like Frank Ocean. And there's like Frank Ocean lore. Like, when he was performing solo at his, it's so sick. And when he was performing solo live, I saw him at FYF in LA. And when he's performing solo, he, the thing in the beginning of Self-Control, he goes like poolside convo. But he actually has like a little freestyle that he did at all his live shows that was the actual poolside convo. And then Good Guy, which is just kind of like this tiny interlude song in the album. He makes it a full-on, like, belting, beautiful vocals, like, full-on song at his live show. And it's just like, dude, he built the literal, like, fucking lore for the album as he was making the live show. Like, everything that dude touches is just well thought out, but feels casual. And that's, like, the vibe that I think the DeGodCast are going to adopt down the line, where it's like, we do think about this shit, like, really hardcore, whether it's the tokenomics, whether it's the fucking art itself. but we treat it really casual. We're gonna be like, yeah, that's just like the case. That's just how it is, and we just make jokes. We're memeing, but we put a lot of time and effort into it. And I think that's just the ultimate level of cool. Which, if you guys really think about it, the best NFT has to just be the coolest fucking thing to own. Like Bored Ape is just cool to fucking own. At the end of the day, DeGod's are gonna be cool as fuck to just own and have one. I think DeGod's gonna take us in that direction where like, yo, this art is just fucking disgusting. Like, this is nasty. Like, I gotta own one of these things, and that's where we want to really take it. And yeah, I think Blonde. It's sick that you guys are Frank Ocean fans. I already know I can fuck with you guys because yeah, that's a huge.
DeGod's Channel Orange, DeGod's Blonde.
Yeah, word. No, it's crazy to actually just think about like I guess like the parallels and like all the shit. But speaking of that, speaking of like fucking like that Frank Ocean freestyle you were talking about.
Yeah.
Just like because there was this alpha I got some alpha. There was this fucking freestyle that fucking Kanye did. And then it got fucking pulled from everywhere. I actually have it. I gotta fucking send this shit to you guys. Mm-hmm. But it was he was on stage. I think it was with him and Mike Dean. And it's kind of like I can't remember what album it was, which was the one that had Pinocchio on it, like the Pinocchio freestyle.
That was graduation.
Jesus, no?
That was graduation, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Yeezus.
Oh, 808s. It's 808s.
Oh,
it's 808s.
Okay, yeah,
oh, okay, yeah, it's 808s. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, no, I got this fucking freestyle. I don't know if you guys fucking heard it, but it fucking like because there was a video and it was online, but then that shit got fucking pulled. But I ended up getting the MP3. This was a long time ago. I'll send this shit to you guys. But bro,
dude, I think I remember hearing it. He just talks about Pinocchio. Is that the one? Or?
No. It's so basically for this, I can't remember. I don't know like the fucking premise and shit, but I got the shit. It's called I Need It All. No, it's called I Want It All, and it's to the fucking Heartless beat. Or it starts off.
Yo,
like,
you gotta send me the
like,
shit.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
gonna play it for Delilah and the boys.
I'll send this shit to you. Yeah, I'll send you this shit because I was gonna say you can't find it. You can't find this shit anywhere. But I'll send you guys this shit. This shit's fucking hard, bro.
I'm pumped.
You guys gotta fucking protect this shit. Put this shit in your ledger.
Put this shit in your ledger.
It's fucking hard.
Mint that shit. Let's go.
I send it to you. Anyway.
Side note.
We're gonna need to release a short version of this and an abridged version and the real version.
Oh,
we can do a Frank after hours or something.
Yeah, I could tell JB's getting a little bit bored. What about you, JB? What kind of music
I
you
listen to
into?
a little bit of everything. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like I like Frank Ocean, but I'm not as versed on it as you guys are. I'm a down and dirty like Southern boy when it comes to rap. I feel like I like a lot of like Jeezy, Gucci Mane, Lil Wayne, and when it went from
sure,
like
Wayne,
that
Wayne,
to kind of the hella mumbly, like you don't understand a fucking words. I kind of like fell off of rap a little bit and got into a little more like country and fucking But no, I fuck with everything, and honestly, I've been Slate and Jimmy have been putting me on like some new shit, and I've been getting back into it because there was honestly just a time where I like just kind of quit listening to rap, dude, because everything on the radio like
we showed him Pop Smoke. He wasn't really about it.
Pop Smoke to me can do better, I think. Well, I guess he can't do better, but
rest in peace.
But dude, I like I like older, like I love like the fucking Locks and like Mobb Deep and just like I like murder music, bro. And so when like popular rap kind of strayed away from that type of thing for me and went to this more like poppy or like mumbly, like I just kind of stopped fucking with it as much. But I've been getting back into it a lot. So maybe we have a Frankie After Hours episode 2 where you guys can just put me onto some new good rap and shit. But
word. Bro, I was gonna say I think that when it comes to I guess like what you were saying about like fucking like murder music, like bro, like literally I fucking
so right now like if I had to give you like a top 2 rappers who are like more current, it'd be Benny the Butcher and Conway the Machine. Yes. Dude.
Yeah, word.
Just
Griselda.
Like heavy
word
shit.
For sure. Yeah, I fuck with Griselda. Like me, bro. Like yeah, bro. I want to fucking hear all that fucking. I want to hear fucking gun rhymes, the punchlines. I be watching like the battle raps and shit. But it's just like yo, bro. There's this fuck. Did you guys ever see that fucking movie that Eminem fucking made? The one
8 Mile.
No, it came after 8 Mile. No, it came after 8 Mile. The movie
it was probably
the battle rap one.
Probably. I see that shit.
We'll look into it.
Yo,
send us the link.
I'll definitely fucking bro. I'll send you guys the YouTube trailer.
Nobody that's
bro.
listening to the podcast is going to be able to see that, so we're gonna keep her moving.
Yeah. But anyway,
I'm like I played like I know Chapter you said before that you like rapped in high school and shit. Like I played in a hardcore band in high school, so like if I want to be like poppy or
word.
like punky or whatever, I'll listen to like punk rock or something. So yeah, or when I'm
Word.
feeling fucking grimy is when I'll get on that murder music. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a
but
mood, you know.
All right, boys. I
a
think
mood.
I think this might be a fucking wrap for episode 1. I think that was
Let's wrap it up,
phenomenal.
boys.
I think we covered pretty much every topic you could possibly cover.
The most insane alpha was
Holy,
dropping this
dude.
fucking, like, I don't even know.
Delilah's
Yeah, I was
the
gonna say,
guy.
bro,
You guys put
like,
me in
that
some
shit's
tough
crazy.
positions, bro.
I
Yeah,
don't even
have to
think
be
I could like
honest,
top
100%,
3
yeah.
the alpha that we dropped on here. It's just like it feels like an hour ago that I guess it was. It feels like days ago that we said Delilah and Taylor are dudes. Absolutely wild. So this will be a fucking
yeah. I'm gonna have to go in the other room right now, and I'm gonna tell them, hey guys,
this will be a
They
fucking
know.
treat. And we're gonna keep doing these once a week, and I think it's gonna be absolutely phenomenal. I think it's gonna be great for everyone in the DeGod's community, but also just like the space. Like there's a lot of podcasts that are very NFT centric and very serious and kind of snooze fests, and I think we kind of want to do a little bit different. I think we very much accomplished that with episode 1. So Frankie, appreciate you joining us and not bailing, even though we thought you weren't going to show for a little bit, but you came through, and appreciate you doing that. And Slate Chapter, we out.